Who is the real champion? That is the question that will be answered tonight. Fans and competitors all have their own opinions on who the real champion of Primetime is. Tonight, Primetime returns to the modern day Coliseum to bring you a stacked card from top to bottom, and it will culminate in an Xbox Championship main event. Entering first, the challenger EK Pabst. In so many eyes, he is the uncrowned champion of Primetime. He did what many others couldn't. He defeated the current champion in the opening round of the Xbox Grand Prix, but had to unfortunately pull out. His skill set is diverse and a danger to any man's reign. Make no mistakes about it. I'm the real champion, and tonight I'll prove it. Those are the words spoken by the mighty challenger. But in order for Pabst to become the champion, he must defeat one man. Enter the champion, EK Naz, one of the biggest names in Primetime today. Naz holds the championship that many long for, and after losing in the opening round of the Grand Prix, Naz was given a second opportunity and made the most of it by winning the whole tournament and becoming the champion. But many believe his win is cheap, that he doesn't deserve to be the champion. But make no mistake about it, Naz has the skills to back up his game. His wrestle heavy game and his elite top control make him a feared man in the cage. People blame me for winning. How about you blame Pabst for pulling out? I'm the champ. Deal with it. But before the rivalry can be settled, we have a co-main event. STK versus KIA Net. Two hard-hitting kickboxers who, with a win, might be knocking on the champion's door very soon. I will kill the Reaper. Reaper, on the other hand, one of us has to lose. It's just not going to be me. And so, with all that being said, competitors and fans of Primetime, we thank you for being with us here tonight as we end a rivalry and get a definitive champion. Welcome to Primetime 71.
Welcome back, you beautiful people. We have got Primetime 71 up ahead of us, and joining me tonight in the commentary booth we have the ever extraordinary and the ever outspoken J-Dime TV and Doc, who you just heard on the mic right there. J-Dime, how you doing today?
I'm feeling great. I missed yesterday, I wasn't there, but today I'm here for Primetime, and there's so many great fights. I see Naz versus Pabst, I see Vex, Ginger versus Trixie. There's so many great fights. Which fight are you looking forward to the most, Humble?
Well, you know, that main event, we've had some history of that. It's almost got its context in itself, Doctor, as you've explained. Previously to last season, before we ended and went to that Grand Prix, you know, EK Pabst was fighting Naz in one of the fights as Naz was on his tear into that top 16, trying to get into the Grand Prix, and for somehow Naz pulled it back in the third round with a submission after a fight that Pabst was dominating. You know, fortunately said that Naz was ranked up against multiple people in that Grand Prix. People pulled out left, right and centre. The man who steps up short notice, it's almost written in the stars, EK Pabst. Pabst ends up getting a win in a very close fight as well. Naz had his moments in that fight. It was 1-1 going into the third round, and he had no quarrels taking that fight as well, but Pabst couldn't go forward. So Pabst is actually one of the only undefeated fighters in the Xbox division, and he's fighting the guy that capitalised and sees his opportunity. Let's not mistake this. Naz beat Dirty Dave and Trixie on the same night. So this is going to be an absolute banger. It's 1-1 going to this contest. Someone's going to have to come out with the best of three, Doc.
Yeah, both of those fights were 3-round fights. This one is also a 5-round, as well as the fact both fights ended in that third and final round. So it's going to be interesting to see how that develops. You also have the co-main event of Ned versus Reaper. Those two, as I said in the intro, are kickboxers and pressure heavy. Those two will look to hit each other in the face with non-stop action across the board. But as you look down this entire card with names like Trixie, with names like Toasty Toes, who's a replacement this time, fighting Gemini, then you have the featured prelim tonight here, Jay, of Tad versus Winter Day. That's looking to be a striking masterclass, especially in the bantamweight division.
Yeah, there's many good fights, especially in the prelims. I see Chief Den versus Vex Chris. I see Keza versus Lepo. There's a lot of great fights, but I got a question. I remember the last time I looked at the card, it said EK Nas. Is Nas no longer part of EK? What's the deal with that, Doc?
He's left.
Yeah, he's left. As far as I'm aware, Nance has left. A couple other people have left. We're not quite sure if Tadpole has left. Hopefully, we get confirmation.
You know, it's Vex.
He's now Vex, apparently. Yeah. Hopefully, we get confirmation on that in the back. Across the board, though, again, camps change, people change, skill sets evolve, they change, they adapt. It's always brilliant to see. Speaking of camps, so it doesn't look like the first two guys are in a particular camp. Let's see if they can get themselves recruited from this performance, possibly.
Yeah, definitely. We have multiple switch-ups tonight as well. It is a live card. We have things going on. And obviously, we're coming back, J-Dime. It happens quite a bit at the start of seasons where you take a bit of a break. You come back. For some reason, people aren't quite ready. They sign up. They're not sure. That's why we have slight sanctions against these people. You need to organise yourselves, you know. There's a production going on. But it looks like we're going to have King Wix versus STLK Ballon in the first fight. J-Dime, I don't know too much about this. I've seen Ballon fight a few times for these guys, but these guys have it all to prove. There's a star-studded card tonight with lots of people who are very, very good and a lot of eyeballs will be watching these guys. It's time to make a name of yourself, and the first fight's to do it.
Yeah. This should be an interesting fight between Nick Diaz and Darren Till because the ping is in the 300s right now. That is no joke.
It's a steady 300 ping.
I hear you. Even Stevie Wonder can see this ping isn't good.
I'm glad it's steady. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I'm glad it's steady too. So it won't be a lag. It'll be a delay. So I want to see who adjusts to the delay better. Will it be Nick Diaz or Darren Till, Doc?
Who knows? As Primetime, this is an international league, so you do fight players from all over the place. We do have a couple of Aussie players. I think he's an Aussie or New Zealand. He's an Oceania player, just all around. So sometimes you do have that type of matchup, but typically you do aim for the UK to US. Sometimes UK versus UK or US to US, but typically you do get between about 80 to 50 ping, 150 ping in most cases here.
One of the missed opportunities for the UFC was not putting Darren Till versus Nick Diaz in a kind of a fight somehow. You know, I know he came back and fought Robbie Lawler, but Darren Till and Nick Diaz would have had some brilliant altercations. And they're very similar with like the sort of, I don't know, with the sort of attitude of kind of how they do it. Don't really care about things, and I love that attitude. But you can see Nick Diaz now, he's predominantly a boxer, comes forward, he's starting to throw those shots, and if it goes to the ground, King Witz is going to have the grappling, essentially, the advantage with the character, especially J-Dime.
Yeah, Nick Diaz for sure has the advantage on the ground because he's well known for his jiu-jitsu. Darren Till has the same ground game as me, even though it may have gotten better since he's been working with Hamzat. But this should get interesting, Doc.
It should really get interesting. You see Darren Till already working Nick Diaz already working the leg kicks, kind of going to the opposite style. A lot of jabs, a lot of straights also coming out. It's more looking to work the body early just to then start working up above that base as we go on here, Humble.
It's slow start, but you look at the leg damage from Till at the moment, and a lot of people say the fake jab's going to go the distance, but we'll see. Things go crazy usually in prime time as you see the spin quick come out from King Wiz. As one guy starts to lose, you see them get a bit desperate sometimes, so you know things can take a turn, so don't worry about that one. But I need to point it out, ping seems to be holding up absolutely steady. You can't judge your ping by its cover, J-Dime, you can't. I fight Naveed all the time, it's 300-400 ping. It doesn't really move too much, and we have a brilliant sort of match. I never really feel it, whereas I fight some people on 60 and it moves to 70 and 80 and 90 and goes back down to 60, and they're the worst people to fight.
Yeah, but it's not a ping that jumps though. It's a steady ping, so it's a little delay, but it's not lagging though. And it's interesting because I've seen Darren Till, a southpaw, fight a lot in Orthodox, and Nick Diaz spent the beginning of the first round fighting Orthodox too. I almost forgot they were southpaw, Doc.
Yeah, it is a crucial idea to look up to because it really does dictate if the lead hand's going to be as effective. If he threw that lead hook there, you can imagine he would have got knocked down. Should also be noted, Diaz did have a leg rock. He got his leg rock, so that's going to reduce his power. By the time your one leg is fully down, you lose about 25% of that power here.
We've seen a lot of like mirroring, call it mirroring, when you're kind of fighting somebody. That's better. We're seeing a lot of mirroring, which means the front line straight shots from the outside. That's obviously going to benefit Ballon because he's going to add the kicks in, which you can see the damage is coming. But Nick Diaz, King Wiz needs to get in his face. He needs to put the pressure on his opponent, and he really needs to kind of utilize the pocket boxing J-Dime because if you're playing a distance game against Darren Till, he's usually going to win and outpoint you.
Yeah, because that's Darren Till game. He outpoints you. He plays tag from the outside. If you're Nick Diaz, you got to get in boxing range. Make it kind of ugly. Don't just let him pick you apart from the outside, Humble.
Exactly that. And if we look at that round so far, ooh, Nick Diaz might have actually stole that round with the amount of significant strikes. It's hard to tell when you're on commentary, it really is. But by the stats, it is in the stats as well. We see stats all the time that don't really mean too much. For me, I thought Darren Till was controlling most of that round. Looking at it, but stats say otherwise, Doc.
Yeah, that was 4-14 significant strikes into the favour of Diaz. That's most likely his round, unless the leg stun maybe sways it into the favour of Bologna. I'm not too sure about the judges, but if I'm Diaz, this is especially what I want. You had a bit of uncertainty, and now you've got that stun. Deal taunting with a front kick, following straight back at him, and a kick to the leg in retaliation.
Nice work right there, and he's starting to press that. The taunts are a weapon in itself. People don't understand that. Taunts, all these little sort of taking your opponent off the game, making them think about a sort of distraction, time blinding them to kind of land another shot. That's kind of the key. And King Wiz got suckered in there. He needs to be careful because at the moment he's winning this round.
Oh, not anymore.
And the uppercut.
Battle on.
Oh, way to get out. Way to circle, because I thought he was going to get cut off on that cage. Way to get out of there.
I feel like this is maybe an odd take. I feel like they should have picked each other's characters. Because Wilkes is doing really good with the kickboxing and Ballon's doing really good with the boxing. And it feels like they've just counter-picked each other's characters so they can't go them. So you end up in this kind of weird mismatch where you got Darren Till having more effective boxing whilst Diaz is kicking someone's legs out with his low-level leg kicks.
I mean, he could get a rock with some punches as well. He's doing a lot of kicks, but it's more about the distance and finding a way to close the distance. I think King Wiz is struggling at the moment in time to find a way to close the distance. Your double jab's an option, kicking and then punching afterwards, and also utilising some grappling, coming up from the grappling and back into boxing range. There's a lot of ways to do it.
Oh,
Getting rocked across the octagon right now.
Yeah, Darren Till looks like the much bigger man, too. They don't look like they're in the same weight class right now either, Humble.
Oh, there we go.
Ooh.
It's that jab. It really is the jab of Till. It's always there. Whenever he's coming forward, he's getting it there, and then he just doesn't fire anything a couple times. Other times he does, but a lot of the time it's just there to exist, and it's measuring that range at all times. On the other hand, you have Diaz as he gets knocked down. Now looking for the finish. The ground and pound coming out very strong. Does slip over to him in a very close margin, and now he's going for an armbar, but gets denied.
Smart. He was smart. One of the problems with, obviously, it might change in the future, but we do ban certain submissions, and the rear naked choke is banned, just because it was kind of across the board from all these sports competitions to do UFC. But you only have one option there, Jedi, for a submission.
Yeah, but I gotta mention this. Nick Diaz, before he got dropped, was driving me crazy with the orthodox Nick Diaz. Just go back southpaw. It was killing me. I can't lie.
It may be due to the leg. To be fair, that leg is a bit compromised, so maybe he switched stance due to that.
Oh no! Why is he using that hand?
And the elbows allow him to get up.
Nice work.
Oh, gave him a free posture up.
That was a close fight, but that round definitely went into the favour of Till. A knockdown in the favour of Till there. If I saw apparently in round one, but it was a leg stun, leg rock.
Yeah.
So round one's kind of in that question mark, but round two's definitely into the favour of Till.
It may be 1-1 right now.
Oh, that was fake. That hit his elbow.
Humble, this is your favourite round.
It's the third round. It's not my favourite round. It's the sort of anomaly of this game. Is the third round is the most important round. You can sway close rounds in your favour by dominantly winning the third round. It's been proven over and over again. It is a flaw in the game, but it happens.
Orthodox Darren Till.
What's going on?
I don't
Darren Till's
know.
Darren Till's got an okay switch stance though, so it makes sense. Whereas Nick
Like
Diaz
Nick Diaz?
Not Nick. Sorry, you're right.
Nick, humble.
It's
humble.
midway.
Come on, I got
Humble.
this.
Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. Yeah, of course, Nick. It's just because I see Nick all the time. But yeah, the wine's kicking in.
Oh, elbow!
The elbow's kicking in too. Humble know a lot about that.
That elbow
Nice
was a
work.
counter to a knee. That was a beautiful thing. Going straight over the top of it, clipping one to the side. Surprised he didn't go for more of a finish. A death kick does come out, breaks the block, and they're going back to the engagement. Diaz probably wanting to look for a big strike of sorts. He's unnervous. He probably wants to start stabbing into jab as well here, Humble again.
Yeah, jab's it also block breaks a bit, so you can kind of land those death kicks through the guard. So it is quite important. But I'm liking what I'm seeing from Ballon. He's thrown. He should have went to the body right there. He's stuff. He needs to be careful.
Man, every time you see a head kick get ducked, you think it's over. He could have took advantage of that, but he didn't, Doc.
Yeah, Ballon's biggest issue has been when he's countered, he's ducked big shots. He just hasn't been in the right position to counter, and that's really benefited Wilson staying in this fight. He's just out of range to be properly countered while still doing a bit of damage there.
Nice work. Goes for the
Death kick. I knew it.
Yeah,
I knew it.
Someone actually said that he likes to utilize that quite a bit, and to be honest, in my opinion, a lot of players who are still kind of finding the footing in skill wise, use a lot of those moves and they're very effective. But when you come up against someone like Ballon, he knows what he's doing. He tries to put it out.
Now going for the finisher and a couple shots. Manages to survive. It's not over yet, Joe, but with a minute 40 left, Darren Till on top of him, a block being shot as well as head tail. He laces up Kimura to try waste some time here, it seems.
He needs a knockdown or something. He's going to have to try and cancel this and get back to his feet or something, because he's not getting this.
Yeah, he's not getting this.
And Darren Till might be 3 rounds up. Might be.
But do you want to leave it in the judge's hands, though, Humble, or?
I don't think he's trying to. I think he's trying to finish him. He's had some good movements. Maybe that's the problem as well. You know, we watched Conor McGregor in the Eddie Alvarez fight. The first instance, he knocked him down. He rushed in and got wrapped up a bit and spent an extra round in the kind of trying to finish him. And then the second, he didn't rush in. So it's all about being patient. And now look what's happening. He's got him in a dangerous rubber guard position, but he's not going to be able to do anything with it. And I think this might be a Ballon win by decision, which is probably the first time in history of Primetime the first fight's got a decision.
It definitely is one of the few to be noted, but they
Good
went
fight,
to a
though,
decision,
very
but
even.
they had a fantastic fight. It was back and forth. You had the first round a bit chaotic, probably went into the favour of Till now that we look, and now we have the third and final round, but let's find out here.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the...
Let's find out who's going to be the winner of this fight. Damn, he skipped it, so usually
Ballon.
Darren Till.
Yeah, that was a good fight, though, but Nick Diaz was driving me crazy when he was orthodox. Like, I still can't get over that.
Good switch of opponents as well. Very even. Good job to the matchmakers there, putting a very even contest. Even though Ballon won, and I think he won it. He might have won 2-1, 3-0. It seemed to be close. There was moments for both sides. That being said, we move thick and fast, Doctor. Usually. Let me just check, see if these guys are going to be ready to fight. But we do have a fantastic card. The next fight is going to be, it looks like Lepo versus Keza. I think we've seen this maybe 100 times in Primetime, Doc. These are 2 experienced veterans amongst the community. And it's going to be interesting to see how these 2 do.
It's going to be very interesting to see how these 2 do. Lepo, a notorious fighter of them all. He will take it anywhere, anytime, and anywho. On the other hand, you have Keza. Now, Keza's very interesting in the way he plays. He is a grappler. He's a grappler at heart, but he's very effective in terms of his striking. He's very cold, he's very calculated, he's very understanding in all measures of the game. Part of the FSD camp originally. I think he may still be part of that. He is. And he's a fun time. Now, slight note to this fight. They are going to be in the flyweight division. Now, slight change to the rule with the flyweight. And typically, prelims are 4 stars. But due to flyweight being so empty, and 4 stars ranging of about 4 fighters,
Makes sense.
they are now allowed to pick 4.5-star fighters.
That's all right. That's a good rule, I think, Jay. I think we all agree with that one. It's that's a bit more dexterity. We don't see Tim Elliott versus John Dodson on repeat over and over again, and we get to see some of the other. We don't really see Figgy getting used. We don't see TJ Dillashaw too much getting used in bantamweight either, because of the likes of Peter Yan and Aldo and a few of other characters. So it'll be interesting to see how this one's going to go. It's one of my least favorite divisions. I'm not going to lie, but
Hey, Listen though, Humble, do you see how many fighters there were? You don't even got to scroll. Those are all the fighters in flyweight. Literally all. You can't scroll.
15. Well, I do. You know, I do content. 67 fighters in the top 15 are missing from the UFC rankings at the moment in UFC 4, and 9 of those are flyweight fighters.
Jesus, that's kind of an impressive stat.
Just a few bit of stats for you guys. I do these things, but yeah, the nine fighters are not missing from there, which is crazy. So they've only got 6 fighters representing the flyweight division as it is. They clearly don't care about that.
Well, it should also be noted here. Jesus, that was a lovely counter. I was about to say one of Kez's favourite submissions is a knee bar. And Dillashaw has that opportunity to do it. So he does end up on the ground in the half guard. Maybe expect Kez to try go for a knee bar. However, Lepo is very well adjusted across all boards. He's got several submissions of his own on his record, and as you can tell, both of them are well adjusted in the striking game here.
This is fast. This fight is starting fast, and someone's going to get dropped because these two have the 2 lowest block rating in this division. You know, TJ has the 89 and Figgy has the 85 block rating, Humble.
It's quite interesting to see like both guys as well. You can see that how they know each other so well, J-Dime, as you talk about the stats of the fighters. Stats of these two guys. They're fighting in the pocket, firing a combination and then countering the other person, trying to get a nice sort of clean counter. That's what we're looking for. Quite a difference from the last fight where it was you fire, I fire. These two guys are trying to catch each other, making a mistake in defense as well as offense.
They act like they know each other. That's the way they're fighting. Like, they're very familiar. Like, they have 100 fight together, Doc.
Yeah, they seem to be. They had an 0-0 record, but they're probably well versed. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, it's 2-0 in favour of Keza over the last couple of seasons. That is some impressive head movement, but that's an impressive counter there. That was very well done.
Beautiful head kick, singular on its own. He did step back and kind of set that up beautifully. Nice work right there, though, from Lepo. The power coming through. This could be it. Oh, Jesus.
This is 2 head kicks get ducked already.
It's almost like the first fight started again.
Oh my God, Jesus. Just on a couple of notes, Keza throwing that many jabs to the block is a very effective idea early on against Figgy, because Figgy's only has like an 80 block or something ridiculous. The man's known for his head movement, so real life he's fantastic there, but when transferred to the game, he's got no block, and that's what happened in here when he's using Dillashaw.
Really trying to utilise the head kicks as well. It's really hard as you go down in the weight class. It's really difficult to duck certain 3-piece combinations with head kicks because of the speed that these guys have.
Oh, he dropped it. Jesus.
It's over, guys.
Keza.
He's alive.
Oh, he survives.
How is he alive?
Lepo.
And he taunts.
And he taunts. That's a sign of frustration, though, J-Dime, as we know.
I don't know. May just woke him up. We don't know. It's one or the other.
He's one opportunity to drop his opponent and try and finish him with some ground and pound. You know that it happens. We've seen it last night.
In your fight, especially. Keza now coming back. He's looking like he's getting dropped. That head health is gone to Kingdom Come. The issue with Figgy is he's got so much power, and if you gas out and you can't fire back to get Figgy off your ass, you're gonna have the full force of might and Jesus of Figgy after you, and he will pop your head off your shoulders here. Jesus.
That was a fast round, guys. Like,
it's
honestly, yeah. You know, they hit faster than everyone, but these two got the worst 2 block ratings in the game. So Figgy can easily break TJ block the way he's breaking his easily, and it looked like he was doing that towards the end of the round. Humble.
Yeah, it was a good fight. It was a great round. Very. You want to be noticed in primetime fight like this. You know what I mean? These are the guys who you enjoy watching fight. I enjoy watching Keza. I enjoy watching Lepo. They make it known. Oh my God!
That jab straight going killed there. The lead hook coming there. The block going down very slowly. Does decide to disengage, but Lepo deciding a bit of Paul Craig nearly ducks into the uppercut. The straight hits there, and now he's on his field again.
Is this over? This is over, right?
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I think this is over.
It's no.
Oh, it's not.
Oh, he survives.
How is he still alive?
I don't know how he's surviving this, guys. How?
I do not know, but this is Trixie level head movement on the ground when it comes to ground and pound defense. He has to avoid some of that.
Oh, the heel kick, maybe not the right shot, but the strike.
Oh my
And
God.
the near rage quit.
Nearly quit. Is he quitting?
He didn't quit, but he nearly quit. But the stream's gone off now. You know for a fact that was an upset and a half here. Jesus.
That was a good fight. I'd watch that fight every week.
That was
a great fight. That was a great fight.
So good.
That was amazing. Like, that was high-paced, phone booth, a lot of action. That's a great fight, man. That's amazing.
That was insane, and that is what you expect. That is a primetime guarantee fight. Both of them used to the way primetime is around. Both of them veterans of the game. Both of them understand it, and both of them did a fantastic job there.
Definitely, indeed. It was a good fight, and just a bit of a notice to everyone in the division as well. It's all about entertainment at the end of the day. We are an esports league, and we want to find out who the best competitors are in the world. If you want to be somebody who's watched and enjoy watching, and people remember your name, you know, that's the way to do it. Both of those guys can hold their heads up high, even though I know Lepo was upset with the loss there, but it was a brilliant fight. It was an absolute fantastic fight. You got nothing. You could have went either way at any point. Literally from 1 second, from one guy winning to the next second, the other guy winning, and that's what you want to see. J-Dime, absolute savages. And speaking of savages, J-Dime, I'm going to introduce the next fight. It looks like it's going to be, I believe, I'm just going to double check. Yeah, it is. It's Lilo versus Pando Alvarez. Slight change to the graphic right there, Doctor. Someone got stuck up that infamous tree that we go on about all the time. It must be piling up in there. Mate, it's early in the season. There's already a bunch of people. Reaper got stuck up there recently, and he didn't bring anyone down with him, and he said it was packed. So, you know.
You've got to hope that tree has a couple of shaking people out. Just waiting for a link from in the back, and
I love
we
the
should be
chat
getting
right now,
good to go.
guys. Humble, I love the chat. Do you read the chat right now? I love it.
I see Tadpole call me out, but I don't know what to call him anymore. He's fighting today in the prelims. I said worry about your own fight, but I don't know if it's EK, Vex, KIA, you know, Savage, TM. Is it what type of Tadpole are we seeing tonight, J-Dime?
Man, it don't matter. Even if we see a good tadpole, a bad tadpole, it's high action regardless. Regardless, it's going to be exciting with high action. So whether tadpole looks like the man or he looks like shit, it's going to be great regardless.
He always brings a good fight.
Always. No matter what, win or lose.
That's why I like watching him. And it's, you know, he's going to be interesting to see that. And that's why he's the featured prelim. Obviously, you're going to be getting Winter X, hopefully, if he's still around. There's some fantastic fights tonight while we're waiting for this link from the guys in the back. I think we're going to get it in a second.
We do have it. We just now have an advert.
Oh, brilliant. Brilliant. Anyway, there's so many good fights tonight. We got Trixie fighting. He's not even in the main or co-main. He's going to be fighting Vex Ginger. That's going to be a great one. Ginger gets his shot right there, J-Dime, to kind of prove the world wrong. And I thought Ginger looked fantastic in that tournament, if you remember. He looked brilliant.
That's the best. Listen to me. Ginger should have got drug tested last week. That was the best Ginger I have ever seen.
Almost like Aaron was playing on his account.
I'm not going to say it.
I'm joking.
No, but generally, Ginger did look really good, so it's going to be interesting to see how he does later on tonight.
He's ranked number one. He's ranked
on
number
the
one.
PS side. But this time around, he's on the Xbox side, fighting him like two Trixies. That's going to be an interesting fight to see.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think of that. Yeah,
nonetheless, we're going to get straight into the next fight of the season. We're going to have Lilo versus Panda Alvarez, part of that infamous SVG camp run by Moroccan Lion. This time, it's going to be in the lightweight division. It's looking like we're not going to have a calf pick, but instead, we're going to have a Gilbert Burns.
That's an interesting one. Because I thought to be an SVG, you have to pick calf picks. Is that not the case, J-Dime?
You're supposed to tell me. You're supposed to know better.
Okay, J-Dime. To be an SVG, you have to pick calf picks. I'm just kind of staring the pot a bit and just saying, where's the calf pick? Usually, there's got to be a calf pick.
Listen. My boy Panda wants to pick who he wants to pick, whether he pick his calf or not. He's his own individual. Yeah, he's SVG, but he's Panda at the end of the day. He's gonna pick who he want to pick.
Might not be SVG at the end of the day if they find out. You know,
I gotta defend him. I gotta defend him. Humble got jokes right now.
We're gonna have a calf pick. We're all good.
Oh, there we go. That's
Raul Dam as
Yeah.
well. We're going to be getting Raul Dam versus Conor
There we
McGregor.
go.
The fight you've all been waiting for. It'll be interesting to see what he picks. Most of the SVG guys pick Kickboxer Sniper because they all use the same sort of movesets, and well, most of them use the same sort of
Queen
movesets.
kicks, switch kicks, that type of stuff. Very fancy
Dang.
kicks, but can do quite a lot of damage given the right moments. That's going to be possibly the case.
Switch
with
as well. The switch. So you throw a crane kick when it's too close, it switches to a body knee. You know, so there's a slight few things. You can kind of have multiple sort of shots with one shot. Essentially, it's the only sort of moves that do that as well. There, J-Dime, apart from teeps sometimes when you're too close, or push kicks to the head.
It sounds like you got the whole scouting report right now. You're trying to break down their whole game.
How many times we fought them? You know.
That's what it seems like. You're trying to break this down to a T.
We'll see. You got to watch out for them sidesteps. You know, if you are Panda, there's a unique way to kind of beat that style. You've got to be very careful because it's high vulnerability, high risk, high reward, and they've got sort of movesets for the counters. But if they're not on ball dock, you know, you can come thick and fast, and you can overwhelm them with the sort of boxing pressure, I guess you would say.
Yeah, you've got to be really careful how you approach this fight. If your gas tank goes out too early against someone like Panda, you're going to have extreme difficulty. You also need to make sure that your defense stays up high, because as soon as that body goes, you're going to be having a lot of difficulty. Seems like Lilo's wanting to play really aggressive, get the combos off where he can, but Panda's just walking backwards, throwing overhands, landing that lead body kick when he can.
Wait, am I tripping, guy?
Second.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
we're good.
We're back.
It's an interesting strategy. He's going straight at Panda right now. It's a great strategy. It looks like it's a great strategy. It looks like.
Should have picked good buzz.
How is he not dead? He's got no head health.
I do not know, but Conor McGregor is lighting him up at the moment, and Panda is struggling to kind of get going. He needs to find his footing in this match.
Yeah.
He needs to avoid those big shots because no respect is given. And Lilo's coming forward and really trying to take his head off.
He has to make Conor respect him. He has to do something that's going to make him take a step back, because he's going balls to the wall, just straight forward. It's like he has no respect for his offense, basically, Doctor.
It seems like Lilo isn't going for any tactical idea. He's brute forcing this, and if Panda can't figure out how to answer in the right way, he's gonna have major issues, as we've already seen. Now the knee's starting to come out. That gas tank is going to be the biggest thing holding Lilo here. He's coming out very aggressively, very fast, very quick, which can work, but that gas tank already, as you can see, is going further and further down.
He really needs to hit the body. He's not hitting the body enough at all. You know, and this might help in a grappling, keeping Conor McGregor off his back. He's not notoriously not known for being good off his back. I don't think he's too bad on the game, though. It doesn't kind of translate. And I think that especially when you've got him, when you're on top of him, you're putting heavy pressure, you can exert a lot of stamina, a lot of energy, J-Don.
Yeah, and do you know what's been getting Panda caught a lot too? He's literally throwing kicks. Oh my goodness, he's throwing kicks in boxing range a lot of times, and I think it's over this time.
Nope.
Sidestep.
Hey, I need to stop saying it's over. When I say it's over, it's never over.
But another attempt coming out now, looking like Panda's trying to get a read on it, but so far Lilo making a good job there, and a ditch to end with a minute left on the clock here. Conor McGregor currently on top, probably going to disengage. Instead, though, goes over to half guard here, Hump.
Yeah, definitely. Someone said earlier on, if J-Dime says it's over, it's not over. So
It's never over. When I say it's over, it is never over. They always survive. I gotta stop talking.
Nice work, though. But I'm liking what I'm seeing from Lilo. He needs to be careful, though. He sidesteps the crane kick. Like I said, it's so easy to kind of get out of there, and you land right in that boxing range. Now the ground and pound comes, and the extra damage. He's just putting it on him at the moment, trying to overwhelm him. He needs to be careful of that stamina. I'm surprised Panda hasn't gone to the body with that knee. You know, the knee that they kind of do. They practice that all the time. I'm really surprised he's not utilising that.
How do you know this? It sounds like you know the whole scouting report. You know exactly
like you
what they
fought
can
a hell
do.
of a bunch of them.
I went through the entire team.
Well, if you
Humble
ever
knows
want to know
everything about the
how
camp.
to
That's
be
what it seems like.
SVG, then Humble is
Good
your man
content.
to ask.
Well, I know them quite well from Rock. At least I've known him for time. Yeah, and if you know one moveset as well, you can kind of know the player base. So that's all.
Well, the stamina recovery is quite well. It is now already going back down slowly. McGregor, one of the biggest issues about McGregor is he's not making, when he fires his punches, he's not making them land when he needs to. And that's kind of what you want to do to really stop your stamina go from down. If you're just whiffing like both of those guys are doing there, it's going to drain more. Lovely crane kick there. Does that now. Trip over.
Will he make the comeback?
It's not OP. It's that guard. He gets it. He's going to try and put some extra damage on McGregor's head. He needs to be careful. He doesn't move a shot right there. He steps out. It's interesting. Takedown for Panda, and Panda is now utilising the clinch. He's getting caught in the process. Needs to be careful. I'd like to see Lilo start using his jab a bit more time. Control the fight and dictate it with some, obvious tools rather than throwing 4 or 5 piece combinations.
Yeah, and I would also like Lilo to go back southpaw with Conor, please. That's what I'd like him to do, because Lilo can take this fight over again. There we go. He can, but hold on.
I think it's actually
Panda may have some success.
Oh, jeez, that crane kick coming out again.
Panda having some success. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Panda said it is not over.
When he said, how is he even in this tourney? But the tourney, it's not a tourney. This is our first card, or one of our first Saturday cards back of the season. It is our first Saturday card back, isn't it, Doc? So, it's we have a Friday night. If you want to join, good time as well. Great time to advertise this. If you want to join Primetime, you can join our Discord. We'll put it in the link in a second in the chat. You can come through, get signed up for any fight, and maybe get a knockout like Lilo is right now.
Coming soon, looking to put the pressure on, and he does so. He beat the gas tank.
If you want to win like that, join in the chat and come and join Primetime. Well done to Lilo. Fantastic. No respect.
Not the thanks. There's no respect in these streets. He's just
I'd like
said
to be
thanks.
a fly in that chat right now, Jay. Time for the fighters chat.
There would be an interesting time. Lilo disrespecting his opponent with the thanks. You could tell by the amount of anger and aggression he came out with this beginning round. He continued into that second round. He did not care about his gas tank, and he beat the mark from gassing out. He was non-stop there.
Hold on, guys. Hold on. Lilo has some kind words for Panda after the fight, too. I'm not going to read them out loud, but he had some kind words for him. Some words of encouragement.
Spamming Beeb, suck my Beeb, honestly. Yeah, there's quite a lot of hate in that voice. Maybe, he's going to, maybe an SVG guy's going to come out of nowhere and start challenging these guys who are calling them out. There's other players in that team. You've got to be careful what you wish for sometimes. But that being said, great win for Lilo. He's going to shoot up the leaderboards, and we have talked about this quite a bit as well. Finishes mean something. First start of the season, your finishes, you're going to propel yourself right up the rankings, Doctor, with those extra points that you usually get for those finishes. And the guys right now who are fighting on these undercards could potentially be fighting in main event spots, co-main event spots in the future. They need to obviously build up some wins to kind of get there, but everyone's in the same boat, and that's why it's such an important time. We need challenges for titles for the guys who are at the top. So put yourself in that
this
position.
is like the best time to make your name for those. You say challenges, put on a fantastic performance anywhere on the card, get that first win, then get another win, and you're most likely in that point. It's the early part of the season. This is the easiest times to challenge for the belt, and this is where you could definitely start to see a new breed of fighter come into play, because we all had the established fights: Trixie, Caliber, Jakey, Fadinator. Mix-ups. You had those names at the very top of the Xbox division to begin with. This time around, though, you had Naz come in, he's already taken a loss in the GP. He's fighting this morning. He's fighting this later tonight in our main event, fighting Paps. Just get those wins over and over again. You only need a couple, and then you're going to be able to get established a bit more, get yourself into those higher positions, and get onto our main card, as well as even fight for the title here tonight.
Yeah, definitely, and that's the key. Pabst obviously had one fight. He's 1-0 at the moment, but it was unfortunately against the champion who went and won that, and that's what you can do. You can put yourself in that position. That being said, it looks like we're going to have two very experienced members fighting in the next fight, Doctor. It's going to be Vex Chris versus Chief Den. I know these guys quite well. Chief Den I've played a few times as well. Jay Diamond. He's fantastic at setup. He's got a really underrated ground game. Not a lot of people talk about Chief Den's ground game. He can put you in certain positions and keep you there if he needs to. And he really worked on that when he kind of changed over. I think he's a good player. Needs to keep it consistent, but he's fighting a good veteran in Vex Chris.
You know what I was about to say when you said I've kind of fought Chief Den. You know what I was gonna say?
Go on.
I don't even know how to say it. I was gonna say, did he whoop your ass too, Humble?
Yeah, he did.
Mine.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Everyone whips my ass. I'm an old man. You know
Apart
what I
from
mean?
mine,
It's-
apart from me, I always end up losing to you. It seems.
Yeah, exactly. She mouth dog. Yeah, I'm not joking. But yeah, you know, we don't expect to be one of the top players in the world. We fight people for information, Jay Diamond, that's the key. But these two are really good. Both very, very skilled. It'll be interesting to see if one of these guys if they have a close fight or one of them propels himself out of nowhere and puts the name on the map, because I know both of these guys have got the ability to do so, Doctor.
Yeah, both of these guys are very well adjusted across all boards. Both of them know the game. Both of them have been around for a long time, if I remember correctly. And Chieftain's normal pick is McGregor, I'm pretty sure, but this time around he's the one having to face McGregor. Vex, on the other hand, Chris looking like already composed. Both of them seemingly filling each other out, and a wild Superman punch also comes out here tonight.
Nice work, double jab coming in from Chieftain. He's really trying to utilise getting ahead on the health and the damage, but nice work coming from Chris back to him, and the ball from experience counts, but what I'm liking is the lead from Chief J Dime.
Yeah, and I think Chief needs to do a good job getting out of that pocket with Dustin, because I'm scared of Dustin in the lightweight division. I think he has the best boxing, so I need Chief Dan to keep getting his and getting out the way, Doc.
He's getting a lead, maybe, but have you seen that stamina? We're barely 2 minutes into this fight, and that stamina is going down quickly, and it's very hard to recover, especially if you're someone like Chiz, who's just going to work, Chris, who's going to work that body nicely. Elbow does land there. That's a fantastic counter coming down up there, but both of these guys are making sure to land their shots where they want to. It's seeming like this fight's going to be set up into a body v health fight.
I would say Chris needs to do a better job of catching him in between combos as well. You know, draining the stamina as he's throwing the third and fourth shot. He's starting to catch him a lot more though, especially with certain shots, and you can see the respect starting to come from Chief as he's pulling and pushing that sort of forward pressure with his boxing. It's massive whiff right there, J Dime.
Yeah, I'm worried about Chief's stamina just a little bit, but he's also catching counters, so it's really a trade. It's really the stamina versus the health, so I don't know, Doc.
It does seem to be like a stamina, but the issue is how low do you get the health before the tower falls, because that's the issue. It's if your stamina falls before you can get that head health blinking, you're going to have a lot of difficult time, because so far here Chris is both going to that head and body, and the stamina's going down, whilst on the other hand Chieftain's going for that head. It's doing a lot of damage. That elbow's landed now for the third time, hasn't got any stunners just yet, but it's seeming like I don't know who's leading here.
It's from my opinion, it's definitely Chris. Chris is putting himself in a great position for the rest of the fight. And one thing that we don't talk about enough, J Dime, is when you've got lower stamina, your shots are less powerful, you're more vulnerable, and you can't throw as many combination shots because your third or fourth shot's going to leave you in a more vulnerable state.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I was about to say, I think Chris is doing a good job mixing in his body shots too, draining his stamina even more. But that knockdown drained it even more. And by the second round, if he gets there, his stamina gonna be really low, Doc. Ooh.
Yeah, his stamina is already low for a 2, but the slip hook there guts down now, going for the finish. One and a slip. Jesus, that is a way to end the round there, humble.
Eyeball, definitely indeed. What a fight! What a contest we have right there. I do think that the nerves, the pressure from Chief Dennis came out and tried to finish his opponent. He's banked on that first round. He struggled slightly, but the head health. Mike, you need to do it early, J Diamond. Thank you to Sativ, who's 93, who's just raided with the party of 5. We do appreciate you. Any raids, any hosts that you give us in the chat help us massively, because your audience sees ours. And welcome to Primetime. If you're new to this, this is the second round of an absolute beastly contest, J Diamond. Chief Den versus Vex Chris.
Yeah, I think Chris needs to be cautious, keep picking his shots and getting out. Because last round, it looked like he was winning. And then Dustin put him down, put him on that canvas, Doc.
Yeah, he put him on the canvas at the very end, but Chiz now coming out. He made sure to come at pace, stuck him against the cage, going down, looking for the finish, and gets it. Jesus. He smelt blood in the water, and he just kept coming forward there, Jay.
Yeah, he just knocked his head off his shoulders. He put him away. And Chief Den isn't a slouch. That was a great performance by Chris and Conor McGregor. Golly, humble.
He's in the chat talking as well. said easy work, as in between rounds and doing a really good job of kind of putting. I just think Chief then came out a bit too fast there. The nerves might have got to him slightly, and he fought unusual from what I'm used to, and Chris did an excellent job of making the reads, starting off a bit slow, but utilising the sort of forward pressure and then taking over at the end of that round and then put a stamp on it in the second round, getting the finish as well, propelling himself up that division, Doc.
Yeah, he did an absolutely fantastic job there. She's making sure to work the base of the body first and then coming up top. He dealt with the onslaught of Chieftain brilliantly. As you mentioned, Chieftain may have had a bit of a league nerves. They do happen. Everybody's used to them. And the pressure may have got to him a bit there. But they both put on a fantastic fight overall here.
Yeah, they did. And credit to Chief, then coming in the chat, GG, well played. It's a skill to have in itself to not be mad and kind of coming in. I struggle with it, Jay. It's tough, but it shows the signs of a maturity and a good play, and you've got to respect that. Good fight from both guys, and it's going to set up nicely for us. We've got a good season ahead of us. You can already tell, Jay Dime.
Yeah, this season started off good. Most of the fights we've had so far have been great fights, so I'm expecting nothing less. I expect all knockouts, submissions, all finishes, all bangers from now on.
Yeah, definitely. The next fight, though, I'm just going to have a quick...
The next
check.
fight
is
PlayStation.
Yeah.
This will be Mislix, or can't remember. Don't have a Mislix. He was a rank contender all the way back last season, if I'm pretty certain. He'll be fighting the man, the myth, the legend, Volt Gaming. A couple of controversies surrounding him, but again, he was also ranked. Looking here, he's going another Diaz brother. This time, Nate versus Jorge Masvidal.
Ooh, it's an interesting fight. Very good fight.
The rematch.
Rematch indeed. They've got obviously these two guys are. Does Nate Diaz have the spinning death kick? I can't remember. I don't think he does he?
No,
Nick
Diaz. His brother has it.
Nick Diaz, yeah.
Diaz does have the Celtic cross or the looping straight. It's one of those straights which has some really good accuracy overall.
It's the looping.
It's the looping one.
It's an interesting pick for Gaiman because obviously he's known for his controversy of picking certain, similar to the Savage guys, certain move sets he kind of utilizes and uses a lot of knees. And Nate Diaz kind of is the complete opposite of that sort of style. So it's going to be strange because he feels like he's got everything at a disadvantage apart from the grappling, maybe. But if you utilize Nate Diaz quite well, the boxing usually comes out really, really fluent and good. J-Time. There we go.
Yeah, and you got to disregard Nate Diaz stats because the animations he have punches really fast. Those straight shots come out really fast, no matter what the rating says, Humble.
Yeah, definitely they do. And, he's got, it's like Conor McGregor's got his left hook straight, it comes out a bit quicker. Nate Diaz has a straight. And he does it in real life. He slows his rhythm down. A lot of people don't understand, people like boxing wise, they always talk about, can you throw a punch correctly? It's all about rhythm as well. You've got to mix up. Sometimes you throw a fastball, sometimes you throw a softball. You've got to be able to do that. And that's in real life. That's fighting in the game and real life. You've got to mix your rhythm up.
Yeah, Nick Diaz has a beautiful little boxing combo. Sorry to cut you off there, Jay. And he's using that effectively. He's trying to dig down to the body, but at the same time, Masvidal here is mixing with those kicks quite a bit. Diaz is trying to go back in retaliation, but it's looking like Diaz is getting a bit ahead of the game early on here.
Yeah, I was going to talk about what Humble was saying with rhythm. I was going to say, once somebody catches your rhythm and your timing, it's over from there. That's why it's important to mix your rhythm and timing up, Humble.
Definitely, and talking about last season as well, these two guys, one of them out of 120 or 130 competitors in the PlayStation division, Vic came and finished. It doesn't matter where he finished if that's coming from Mystics. He finished 38th and Mystics finished 41st. So these two are very neck and neck in the season as well. Didn't actually fight each other, but now they fight each other, setting in some beef, and it's a good fight so far.
The uppercuts to hooks also coming through. Another slip hook there also follows suit, clipping Masvidal on the chin. That's the third or fourth one so far. If I'm Masvidal, I'm going to take note. Be wary of the hooks as Diaz comes in. Again, though, lovely bits of combos, keeping his head off the sideline and then trying to come back afterwards. It's looking like the stand's fairly even so far, and he now coming back to try with that stand. But again, the trading in the pocket seems to be fairly even across the board.
You know what I would do? If I was Jorge Masvidal, I would go for Nate Diaz's legs. He's not throwing enough leg kicks because, Nate body and his legs are kind of weak, Humble.
He's pressured quite well. Local game is trying to put the box on. Maybe he's waiting for that, and that's why Mystics is not kind of throwing those shots. They're doing well in both kind of trading in the pocket. The head movement's been good for Mystics, and it's a good job so far. But he's not moving backwards in straight lines. You know, I've got a gripe with this Doctor. Moving backwards in straight lines is one of my biggest problems with MMA. A lot of people do it in this game, and it sets you up for a double jab. You have to just shoot for three shots instead of two, essentially, and you're going to land that third.
Yeah, it also sticks your back against that cage, and having your back against the cage means you can't do pullbacks. It means your distance management is out of your control. Instead, your opponent's the one leading the fight. So if you're either player here, what you want to be doing is moving more horizontally than vertically, going back and forth. You want to be moving to the side, circling. Your main fight in terms of the footwork overall is you're looking to fight for the center of the octagon. The person with the control of the center of the octagon mainly controls that range here, Joe.
Yeah, you said it perfectly, and it does drive me crazy when someone just backpedals straight to the cage, because now you done given up ground. Now you're stuck. You're stuck in a corner with somebody punching or kicking you, and like that just drives me real crazy, Humble.
Well, people are really good at kind of fighting off they call it fighting off the ropes, but the cage is slightly different. You know, when you've got grappling, and you've also got knockdowns against that cage, and when you get knocked down, you get extra shots. That's really a really difficult point. Obviously, if you fight behind the black line, I would say sticking to the black line. You know, not too close. Oh, nice work. See, he's not against that black line right there. Goes for a slap. The disrespect coming now from Fuck Gaming. This is why a lot of people have got an issue with Fuck Gaming, trying to slap his opponent's head off and make a statement, Doc.
I'm pretty sure you can get a KO with that slap, if you're lucky enough. You just time it rightly. However, as we mentioned, that the lead hook's now coming out from Masvidal. He's looking to knock the head off, but he gets stunned, digs down to that body, comes at top again. A straight doesn't land, but now he's going back to that leg, and that left leg is looking really damaged already.
Listen to me, Humble. If somebody, you see the way Nate Diaz slapped him, if someone slapped you like that in a fight, what do you do? What do you do?
Fight him.
What, Mike Tyson style? Just bite his ear clean up.
You gotta get even.
Your response is a bite? It's a bite?
Something bad's happening, you know, you're not getting disrespectful like that. Nice work.
Jesus. Diaz, though, continue on the disrespect. Now in top mount, looking to rain some ground and pound. Has tried to do it. He nearly got finished there. That was a very close few seconds. And now an armbar attempt coming out. The stamps fairly similar. However, red is definitely lower overall here.
I don't think he's getting this. Yeah, he's not getting this, but he has control here. This is the place you don't want to be if you're Jorge Masvidal, Humble.
It definitely is. He's kind of like took over the game at the moment and really trying to put the pressure on. He's chipping away at the head health of Masvidal. Masvidal needs to get out. He needs to do something. He's got a tough competitor in Nate Diaz in front of him, and Nate's really good as well as riding the wave when you're really hurt and you're trying to get out. He'll put you in really dangerous situations. He's a fantastic finisher on the ground, one of the most underrated finishers in UFC history on the ground.
Ooh.
Breaks the RNC, now goes down to the bottom, goes to again, but he gets flipped over to top mount. Both of those RNCs are legal. The only one not illegal is the one in back sitting, but he doesn't seem to need it. He's just raining down those shots there, Jay.
Yeah, I think he's content to just beat him up until the end of this round. Ooh.
Nice work. Yeah, of course, if you get back flattered, you know, you're in one of the most dangerous positions in the game, and it's quite easy to avoid as well. So put yourself in that position and you deserve to get rear naked choked, essentially. Whereas the back sitting, you know, it's common. You land in that quite a bit.
With that being said, that's an end to the second round? Yes?
Yeah, we've got one more left. These guys need to give us everything they've got right now.
First, to be honest. These two have been going back and forth, hectic pace across the board. A slip hook there, lands and a straight coming through. He's trying to keep his head off the centre line, but Diaz is still walking forward. He's in front of that black line, as we mentioned earlier, and he's now done a fantastic job at circling around and putting Nate there instead.
These two really putting on each other, Jadan.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you, but Nate has the advantage right now. But did you see after last round they sent each other respect? If someone smacked me, I'm not sending them respect. If they're trying to punch me like that, nope, I'm not sending respect.
Oh my God. It's difficult to get respect from me anyway, Jadan, but you know that it's If someone slaps me, it's not on.
Slap
I'm
me?
sorry. It's
Slap me? There's no. There's no respect there.
I'm not your friend.
No, we're not friends.
Nice work. He's kicking the legs now as well. Good work from Gaiman to try. Oh, he gets a pull back right there. Doesn't really capitalize. It seems to be the more flowy fighter J-Time.
Did you say he's the more flowy fighter?
Jesus.
Yeah.
And the uppercut also doing it as he ducks. It goes to the body, but instead auto attacks the head because he's ducked into it. The lead hook, though, there. It's looking like Masvidal is dead in the dust here, but he's trying his damnedest. He's standing his ground. His head's blinking. His stamina's low. He gets the stun and the uppercut. Now looking for the finish. He's trying his damnedest. Jesus, that was a comeback there.
Show your respect up your ass. Here we go. Nice work from Buck Gaiman. Nice spear takedown. He turns into Brock Lesnar for at least 2 seconds there, J-Time.
He didn't look like Brock. He looked like Edge for a second.
I was going to say Roman Reigns, but either way, whatever he's looking like, he's got the ground and pound, he's got the finish. A beast got woken up with him after he got knocked down. He came back, realised it's no time to play, and got the finish.
Nice work. He's been training with Bo Nickel. I don't know if you know that, J-Time, but yeah, Bo Nickel.
Who's been training Bo Nickel?
Buck Gaiman.
Oh, because I thought you were talking about Jorge. I thought you were talking about Jorge because he trains with Bo Nickel. So
yeah, he does. You're right. He does. You're right.
Yeah.
Didn't help him there, did it? As Nate, yes, running team. The great fight, by the way, from both guys and Buck Gaiman. The high-ranked fighter from last season gets the slight advantage this season. That I never understand because it seems like he has great performances sometimes in PT and he still gets a lot of hate, but no hate in the chat tonight. That was pure performance from him.
Yeah, he does get hate. I can't even lie to you. That one day, I've never seen a chat gather together to hate on one man in my life. He brought everyone together.
Only other person is Naz, who's the main event this evening, though I've seen people hate on. But him and Naz are the two most, sometimes the two most hated people. Yeah, controversial, most hated in the community, whatever you want to call it. If, like Cyrus would say, if you're not hating, you're doing something, getting hated, you're doing something wrong.
Well, following on from their barn burner of a 3-round fight will be the featured prelim now. These two guys are notorious in their own aspect. Tadpole, arguably probably the more notorious man out of the two of these guys. The man who we're actually not quite sure what camp he is currently. I believe
Vex.
He said
Vex. He announced Vex.
He announced
can't
Vex.
be in 2 camps. You can't be in 2 camps because that would exclude you from ESFL competition and other stuff, I guess. So
you know what I feel about that. You know what I feel about Humble. I can't say it on stream. You know my saying though.
Well, like I said at the start, it's really difficult because Tad have this thing where we go back and forth quite a bit, and we will eventually fight in Primetime. Depending, is this PlayStation or Xbox stock?
This is Xbox. I'm pretty sure Tadpole ended up selling his PS.
So he calls me out for no reason. He knows he's not going to be able to fight me. He calls me out every week. What's going on there? Anyway, but yeah, like he joins the team and then he spends a couple of months there and then leaves the team or some weeks sometimes. But I don't know. Maybe there's a skill in that. Maybe you get more out of the camp. Maybe you train him with other training partners. There's a lot of people like Gym Hop. So I don't know.
Where are you going with this? Like, so are you saying he's getting passed around? Is that what you're trying to say, Humble?
No, I'm saying you gain more knowledge from doing that.
I'm trying to be a controversial character this evening. Jesus.
I'm actually giving him credit and saying, is there a skill in going from gym to gym, learning with different people? I don't know. Maybe there is.
Well, Tadpole as Cody Garbrandt, Dodson, there we are. Dodson in the blue, Winter already starting out on the back foot. Tadpole and his 3-piece looking to work that body very early on here and also keeping his head off that centre line, it seems.
Never seen this.
Yeah, Tadpole picking Cody is interesting.
Yeah, that too. And John Dodson is like the smallest fighter almost on this game, but he's making Cody look tall. I've never seen anyone make Cody look 6 foot tall before.
Tiny, isn't he, John Dodson? Recently signed with Bernacle Fighting and won his fight in there as well after leaving the UFC. And he's got quick hands. He's one of the only guys to beat TJ Dillashaw clean as well. Finished him in the Ultimate Fighter finale.
People forget how good John Dodson wasn't a slouch, and he has really fast hands. People forget that.
He's a pound shot Mighty Mouse. You know.
Jesus. Both of these guys are going at it nonetheless. Looking like the stamina's going into the favour of Tadpole very early on. Both of them doing a massive, lovely ball count towards each other. Neither landing a straight, and a head kick follows suit. Another slip straight there. Neither one of them wants to keep their head on the centre line for very long. Both constantly moving it in any ways they can. But the straight pieces to block for long is working, and a stun there by Tadpole.
It goes for the big kick. Nice work. I love that. Lovely setup from Tadpole. I love the way he tried to set that up. Left hook to the body, straight to the head, and then head kick coming afterwards. Not a usual combination. You see with that head kick, you can see the dexterity in his attacks. One thing I'd say about Tadpole, J Diamond, I don't know if you agree with me, sometimes he goes for those big moves over the simplistic ones, which puts himself in more vulnerable positions. And the more he brings that back, the better he gets.
Yeah, I feel he does that on purpose because he wants a clip. You know, he wants something to go viral. So like, he's really trying to put on a show more than anything. Yeah, he's a showman. So it's the excitement and him pleasing the crowd over him getting the win. So he may take that risk, even though he knows he can get the job done. Humble.
Yeah, I know that feeling. It's trying to always constantly trying to create content and doing good stuff, but he's doing a fantastic job so far. There was a few body shots he landed a couple of seconds ago, Doc, which really stunned, really took the wind out of his opponent and made the stamina as well.
And that's what you're going to be doing with your guard, Brian. If you can slow down your opponent's overall pace, if you can find the opening and make them vulnerable more, like he's doing now, it means Cody's chin's less at risk of getting clobbered, and that's probably his biggest issue currently. You need to make sure that your chin doesn't crack before John Dodson's out cold, because that man hits like a truck himself here.
He does. He's quick as well.
Oh, Jesus!
Nice.
Oh.
Catching him on a pullback, opens up the body a bit more. Now the backside damage coming in. He decides to disengage, but with 1 second left on the clock, that secures a round one into the favour of Tadpole here tonight.
Dominant so far, J-Time.
Yeah, right now, this isn't Tad, the content creator. Tad wants to beat his ass. Like, this is just Tad trying to get a win, Humble.
Well, they come, don't they? The big shots come when the opponent's got no stamina. You can mess about a bit more when you're not going to be hurt with something, and I think that's what he's building it. Yeah, exactly. I think that's exactly what he's building it. Doc, I've been waiting for it for the entire that first round, and I think he's going to utilize the body shots. He's going to really work on his boxing in this round, and then when he gets the opportunity, there's something big coming. You can tell.
You can just tell by his movement that he's so wanting to do it. Does get there now, going down for the finish. Hoping he's down this, but he's going to knock him out.
No messing. No messing.
Cartwheel kicks
no messing about.
He is not messing about.
Playing.
I like that. I like that. That's a good attitude to have. Like, just fucking finish your opponents, get them out of there next.
Tadpole playing clinical and precise, working down the body of his body, then coming up top, as you can see, that hook clipping John Dodson after going straight to the body beforehand, and then goes down and finishes his opponent in no times at all. That was an impressive performance by Tadpole. John Dodson looked like he was having some hope. The damage overall was adding up, but Tadpole knew when and where to hit, and he did it in fantastic manner.
Question: did Tadpole used to be Vex before he went to PlayStation and everything like that? Was he part of Vex before? No, okay.
He was ICB at one point.
See, that was ICB, right? I see. So he said in the chat that Vex. Well, shout out to Vex. Vex Gaming, fantastic competitors throughout. We're going to see Gingy later on as well. But great way to end our prelims tonight. J-Time, fantastic showing from all the guys on the prelims. But now that leads us on nicely to the main card of this evening, and it's going to be a fantastic card. We've got, as we said earlier on, headlined by the main event, the rematch, the dispute that we're going to have, EK Pabst versus Naz. Naz leaving EK as well. There's a bit of we don't know the context of this, but there's a bit of history right there between that. The 1-1 going into that fight, that's going to be our title fight this evening. Then the co-main event, Kaya Ned versus Reaper. That's going to be a great one. I know these two guys, I'm not sure if they like each other. I'm not quite aware, but
I don't think Reaper likes Ned. I don't think Ned likes Reaper either.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Each other.
Ned doesn't like a lot of people. Ned doesn't like a lot of people, but I love Ned for it because he doesn't like me as well. So
he's got the big balls. Who said he needs to like anybody? Never thought I'd say that statement out loud, but here we are.
Okay.
Oh God, brilliant. He says Tadpole says he was Vex. Well, there you go. So you've joined his whole team and kind of come back. I thought you can remember him saying something. Ginger
don't know.
versus Trixie. Trixie, the goat of Primetime's fighting tonight. We've got Jimmy Kia, Jimmy Slick. I rave about people. I've raved about him in the past. We haven't seen enough of Jimmy Slick, in my opinion. One of the slickest guys in the community. He's fighting Ripe MMA. That's going to be a great fight. Caliber versus Gemini. And our next fight this evening, Dr. Cole versus Mohammed Makayev. That's going to be a brilliant fight.
Well,
let's get this one up. Oh, wait, there. Something happened.
Yep, the last two fights you mentioned there between Gemini and Cole, we had both of them end up with replacements. The mighty tree
Right.
sucked them all up. Reaper couldn't find them up there, and so
How does
sadly
the
we
tree keep
we
doing
have
this?
Toasty Toes versus Gemini, and up next we'll be having TM Perp versus Cole.
In my opinion, that's no offense to Mohammed Makayev, but the records wise, it's a better fight for the for what was last season. If you look at the records of overall, Mohammed Makayev, I think was like 1-5 at one point in the last season or something like that. Whereas
Well,
Perps
it's
had
a new season. It's a clean slate. You don't know how he's going to come out. He may stop competing out halfway through the season, maybe towards the end of it. Not too sure. You come back now when you're going to be looking to put on a new performance, a new skin, hoping to showcase how much you've improved. With that being said, let's get straight into this right here.
new season. You are correct. It is a brand new season, new slate. We've seen people like Ginger, who's currently number one.
And Reaper.
Fighter. Ginger, I'm on about Ginger as well. Ginger in that Grand Prix coming out as a different sort of character, and maybe that's it. This is his season, you know. So Purple Urkel versus Cole is they've got they're fighting on the main card. The eyes are on you, J-Dime. The world is watching. Now's the time to make your mark.
Yeah, it is. But you know, some people shy away from the bright moments. Sometimes some players are really good, but as soon as they're on the main card, they fight like someone completely different because now there's something on the line. You're on the main card now, Doc.
Yeah, you're on the main card. You have access to the above 4-star fighters. Both of these are in the lightweight division, if I'm not mistaken. Both of them, I think McGregor's still 4 stars, but he's basically a 5-star at this point in time. At least the striking realm. Both of these are going to be fun fights. Dustin Poirier is a killer across the board, and with how these two are starting this out so far, technical but also methodical, you're expecting this to slowly ramp up as time goes on here, Humble.
Nice teep to the body right there. Good work, distance control. It's all about the footwork battle at the moment. J-Dime really trying to utilise the centre of the octagon is Purple, and Cole Miller's really trying to get the angles. This is what I mean about moving straight backwards. He doesn't. He moves off laterally. He comes in when he feels like the time's right, and he takes away a lot of the shots that are doubling up, which is really important against people who three or four combinations, especially when they add a double jab onto that as well.
Yeah, you're right. Because like I said, it drives me crazy when people move straight back into that cage, Humble.
Yeah, it's a common mistake in boxing and kickboxing, MMA, everything like that, Taekwondo. They tell you not to move in straight lines, and it's got to be the same in this game as well. It does affect you because you're there for the third or fourth, and you're seeing Cole utilise that right now. But I'm liking what I'm seeing from Purple as well. Really good fight so far. Cole is starting to catch him though, Doc.
Yeah, Cole is starting to catch him, but a lovely takedown defense there by Cole himself. Perp knew that he's going to get caught, that he needs to change the pace a bit, and it's looking like what he's going to do. He's going to look for more for the grappling, more to the taking it down, to offer a different route to maybe reset Cole's ability to strike here.
Connor's doing good with his footwork, just getting out the way. Oh, and right when I say that, he doesn't get out the way, Humble.
Oh, nice work, Cole. People say this is a
Jesus.
mismatch in the chat, which is crazy, saying Cole is going to warm him up and then take him out. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now from Cole. He's really putting on the pressure, and Purple's trying to fight for his life. But when he got him hurt, they really dug into the body and really capitalised on adding some long-term effective damage, Doc.
Yeah, he's done a fantastic job overall. Both of them capitalising on the damage. It seems like McGregor's doing just a bit more. That stamina especially. Lovely takedown denial there. That's exactly what if you're Perp, you want to be driving and then turning your left stick to then get the turning takedown, which may offer him a better chance of getting the fight down to the ground here.
Nice knee right there coming from Cole. J-Diamond, he's caught him. He's got him on the ropes. He's rocked him right now. And Purple Urkel is going back to that cage. J-Diamond needs to be careful.
Yeah, but he's been getting punched out since the beginning of this match. It's been competitive. Just
ducks into it.
I call that.
That would have put him out.
Kick.
Hey, I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad if he would have ran into that.
There was a certain fight in the UFC history with Renan Barão versus Eddie Wineland in a title fight, and when Renan Barão landed that mid height, perfect, exactly the same as that, and finished his opponent in the Renan Barão kick, I call it. But he nearly caught him clean in the chin right there, right in the chops, Doc.
Yeah, he did a really, really good job there. Just
Doc, I can't hear you.
oh,
Stock's mic muted.
huh?
You can't hear him?
Has Humble muted me? Jake, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Me.
So it's just Humble.
There we go.
Oh, okay.
What happened?
Well,
What
we
happened?
technical
I
issue.
don't
Gotta
know.
love it.
I do not know.
Okay, we all sorted. And we are back into this fight. Both of these guys engaging brilliantly. We only missed about the first minute with the weird, odd technical issues, and now the getting the knockdown. Brilliant job there. Now putting on pressure into that clinch. Goes for the uppercut there. Doesn't get any drops or stuns, but does a bit of extra damage. You can really start to see that head health of Poirier is in desperate need of some retaliation here.
Nice work. Finds the combination back. He's really trying to slip a bit too much, which Cole's trying to pick up on. He's really trying to get the timing of that slip. You can see him moving laterally as well, Jadam. Really, the footwork of Cole in this fight's been the key.
Yeah, his footwork has been ridiculous this fight, and he's doing to Dustin what I thought Conor was going to actually do the last time they fought. Nice. Oh, nice.
That was a beautiful head kick.
I always like the lead. The lead's a good shot. He gets me. It's a fence. It's over.
Well, he's
this
got
is
to
over.
defend himself now.
This match is
Straight,
over,
another
fellas.
straight, a hook,
Yeah,
and
this is
he's
over.
dead.
It's over.
It's over. As you stated, that was a fantastic performance overall by Carl. He was playing on the back foot for some of that period, but he knew when to come forward, when to be the aggressor, and that's really what led him towards that fight. Perp had to try dig deep, tried to find stuff, but he just couldn't get an exact read across that board, and that's led to that finish there. Then getting hooked in the ground and pound, finally finishing him off that during that fight.
Nice work right there. Early stoppage, in my opinion. He blocked that shot. No.
Early
Should
stoppage?
have allowed a few more shots.
You want him to
coming
die?
through. Yeah, you know how it is. It's. I love the clean kills, but it was a beautiful performance from Cole. I think he did really well. He utilised that footwork really well. He was the more prepared fighter going into that fight.
Few more shots. You wanted him to die. I can't believe you said a few more.
I miss Mario Yamasaki for that reason alone.
If he dies, he dies.
He does. He once let Valentina Shevchenko land 197 shots to like 3, something like that. In some fight. It just said she goes out like a warrior. That's the exact words. Anyway, goes out like a warrior. But Doctor, the next fight, I believe you said you've got a replacement. Is it for Caliber or Gemini that we've got a replacement?
Gemini is still in the fight. Caliber got stuck up on his mighty tree as well, and so instead we're going to be having Toasty Toast.
Toasty Toast.
Hey, I have a theory though. I have a theory on this Caliber thing. I think he was mad that y'all spelled his name wrong for the 100th time on the card. Flyer. So it says Caliber. It says Caliber instead of Caliber. I think he was tired of it and he said, "I'm out of here."
He went and climbed up the tree himself.
Yeah, he willingly went up the tree.
Toasty Toast made an appearance, so he got his position in the Grand Prix last season. Obviously, didn't go his way, lost in the first round. But he'll be fighting at the bit to get that sort of rematch back and get a shot back. At that one. And I believe both of these guys fight in both Xbox. I know Gemini does Xbox and PlayStation as well, Doc. Is this a PlayStation or an Xbox fight? I'm guessing it's an Xbox fight. If Doc's giving us a second,
I think Doc's up the tree too. I think he was
Doc's
looking
gone
in the tree. Yeah.
Well, I'll just go ahead with that. So Gemini was also competing in the PlayStation Grand Prix, and he went 1-2. So he actually got through to one of the rounds. You know, he went 1-1, and then fought the other night fought last week, and he lost that fight as well. J-Dime, so he's actually 1-2 at this moment. He needs a big win, basically, is what I'm saying. He's currently ranked number 13th, but mainly because there's not a lot of action going on. It's our first card. So he needs a big win, unless he's moved over to Xbox, which Caliber's on, and then that'd be an interesting concept because it seems like he's changing to a different console.
Man, being 1-2 is tough, but it's the beginning of the season, though. Mm-hmm. So he can make up for it, but he has to start now. You don't want to start building up losses to the point where it's hard to come back, Humble.
Yeah, well, he's had some of the most fights out of everybody, you know, like even the champions. The maximum a champion's fought is 4th time, so, you know, he's nearly fought 3 already. And he can go 2-2, though, if he wins this fight. Maybe he can go 1-0, essentially, J-Time, if he's fighting on Xbox. So I just need to obviously wait for Doc to get out of his tree and let us know if this is an Xbox fight. I've got a 100% guarantee feeling it is an Xbox fight, I'm thinking, because of caliber.
Looks like an Xbox fight.
Yeah.
Gemini has
So
both consoles, but typically has competed previously on the PS side, probably moved over to the Xbox, same way Ginger is doing later on tonight, fighting Trixie.
Definitely. It's interesting because you're giving yourself 2 chances to kind of put yourself in the rankings. J-Dam, he's 1 and 2 on PlayStation, but not on Xbox, and it's the start of the season, so he's in the same boat everyone else is in, and he could potentially get himself, you know, right up there with a win this evening with the likes of Tad and everybody else who've just got that win.
Smart, actually, because this is how it goes. Damn, I got my ass whooped on one system. I can restart. I can start from scratch again, and now I can be the best because now I'm 0-0. That's smart, Humble.
He didn't get his ass whipped like 2-1. You know, he lost 2 fights, but you got to win there somehow, and he'll only be fighting.
You said somehow.
Yeah, top guys though. All top guys that he's fought. You know, in that top 16 guys that he would have fought in the first instance.
Toasty Toes. Is this Toasty Toes versus Gemini V3 Gemini? That's what I'm seeing right now?
Exactly it, yeah.
Toasty Toes is Islam Makhachev. Got to assume Khabib was banned. Gemini, on the other hand, is Conor McGregor. Gemini typically a striker, Toasty typically a grappler, so typical striker versus grappler matchup, and Toasty is really wanting to take this fight down, but you've seen some fantastic defense, but it only lost so long, doubling up on the takedowns, and we go down to the mat here.
Nice work right there. Not a lot of people know how to defend that. It's really good work from him to kind of utilise that. He's using Islam really well at the moment, and this is exactly what you'd expect in an Islam performance.
Yeah, this is what Islam does right here. And you said they may have banned Khabib. I'm not a fan of banning Khabib because you're just going to get Islam if they ban Khabib. There's like no point of banning Khabib.
Legacy Khabib, though, is overpowered. He's so good on the ground.
There's 2 Khabibs on this game for some reason, and both of them are 5 stars. That don't make sense to me.
Yeah, he's a bit of an odd one, to be fair, but
Yeah, it's
lovely denial there by Gemini. His overall takedown defense is pretty good. Islam only landing 1 shot and only managing to stay on the ground for about a minute, because now we're back up to the feet, and McGregor's happy to just stand there and engage with someone like Islam.
Nice work, though, from Toasty Toes, as he's utilising Islam really well with the boxing as well. Like, he's not kind of overly engaging. He's really trying to pick his moments to grapple, and he's doing a good job of there closing the distance and then mixing it up as well, make his opponent think.
Throwing in and zigging when he should have zagged. Gemini coming out, a spinning heel kick at the end, doesn't make his way through the block, but definitely put Toasty on notice that he needs to be careful how he trades all his P's and Q's here. Another takedown attempt, getting down, and a lovely denial to suit here, Humble.
Really good work. Gets scrambles back to his feet, J-Dime, on that leg right there, and now he's back into the grappling and the striking position. Sorry. Beautiful work. Oh, go for nice
He almost faked me out. He almost faked me out there. And I like the takedown defense from Gemini so far. His takedown defense has been elite so far, Humble.
It definitely has. I'd like to see the forward pressure a bit more now from Toasty Toes. He needs to get off this. The centre of the octagon for Conor is perfect, you know. Where you need to be. You've got space behind you. Beautiful work there. Lands the uppercut, and now Toasty Toes is in trouble. Gets dropped, and at the end of the round doesn't get the finish right there, but that's a real statement going into the second.
Well, to 17 significant strikes into the favour of McGregor. 2 knockdowns as well. You can really start and see the overhand Gemini's coming out again. Should be mentioned, that's how he got his loss to Diaz during his fight. It was getting an uppercut duck mixed with the uppercut, but Toasty Toes coming out and shooting straight for a takedown, getting effectively, and now looking to rain some ground and pound here.
Was for the top man, gets it as well, J-Time, and now this is where he really needs to utilise the grappling, but doesn't get much damage off there, and that's the problem with grappling.
But he denies and top mount. And here's the thing. Islam was struggling to get him to the ground last round, but he got it. I was about to say he got it right away, but obviously Conor has been working on his wrestling, Humble.
He's not a bad wrestler. He did quite well against Khabib, in my opinion, compared
I
to other people. You know, he did quite well and stuffed. He stuffed the initial takedowns, but there's a chain coming from Khabib. That's the problem. That's why he's so good. There's not one. There's 20.
Yeah, he's going to shoot until he get it. And once he gets you down, you're not getting up.
Yeah, it's a consistent body lock to single leg to arm drag to. It's just not non-stop. Nice work though. He's continuing that, and I think that's what he's got to do. He kind of stayed in the striking element way too long in that first round. He needs to constantly chain grapple. You are punished in this game for it, but it's his best way to win this fight.
Chain grapple, making sure that Gemini is down on the ground, out of the way of his ability to strike, using McGregor's best assets for him, as you mentioned, are probably one of the few quirks that he needs to make sure he gets down. We're back up on the feet again. You're going to hope that Toasty Toes will take it down. He does so get the slam, but he's gassed out, and if Gemini's clever, he'll get the reversal like so, and now he's the man on top.
Biggest issue I'm seeing so far. Conjure.
I was about to say, if Conor took his back, Conor grappling is looking really good right now. I don't know what Conor has been doing in his off time, but he's looking better than I thought, Humble.
Gemini's not a bad grappler, you know, he's well from a good team. My biggest problem with Toasty Toes at the moment is he's doing the right thing on the feet to get the takedown, chain wrestling, but when he's getting on the ground, he's not slowing down. He's doing the same things he's doing on the feet, which is like rushing. And when he's rushing on the ground, that's giving his opponent opportunity to capitalise, get a switch, kind of utilise, just wait and essentially let you make the move first. Whereas I believe Doc, he needs to just sit on him for a bit and kind of wait, you know, kind of wait for the opportunities to arise rather than trying to make them.
Yeah, and that's kind of the issue is a lot of grapplers need to they experience is that on the feet you want to make it quick, you want to make it dirty. That's those are the places where your opponent's going to make those mistakes. On the ground, however, you slow it down, you make them make mistakes by getting too frustrated, by making them too aggressive. Fantastic transition there, but now we go into the top. He gets a reversal, and that's probably from Toasty just being too overactive here, and now we end up with McGregor on top. Does get denied at the very end. A reversal round into top mount, but it's a little too late to get any real damage off it.
Jay, have you noticed the stamina from Conor McGregor at the moment? The amount of takedowns and stuff he's dealt with, his stamina is really shot there. I feel like that was Islam's round, and the stamina does not look good for Conor McGregor, which is going to stop him from kind of being effective on the feet.
Yeah, but we got to be glad it's not a 5-round fight. It is 3, so he only has to maintain it for one more round. If it was a 5-round fight, he'd be toast right now.
Let's see if Toasty Toes goes straight back to his grappling J time, or he kind of straight to the grappling, chain wrestling coming, and it's poorly dealt with from Gemini.
Well, his takedown defense seems to have shuffled past the first round. Now the crucifix position does get out of it after getting elbowed once. Toasty's got 4 minutes to work. He can slow down his pace. He can stay patient. He doesn't have to transition, but that deny will do him massive favours here. Now landing his elbows over and over again. That block getting low. Another elbow now, and he could be looking at a finish. He does so. Jesus.
Great comeback.
After that first round we had seen, for him to turn it around like that and just dominate on the ground.
Yeah,
I feel like he slowly changed his sort of play style on the ground as well. Like he was still relentless, but at the same time, the amount of energy that you have to exert with Conor McGregor on the ground to keep someone like Islam Khabib off you, it just is overwhelming. The chain wrestling was the key to this fight, Doctor. He didn't stop, and that's what he needed to do.
Yeah, that chain wrestling really did. He then made the adjustments. He made the adjustments of how to shoot a takedown in that second round, and then coming into the third round, he made the adjustment of changing his pace on the ground and coming from a really high pace on the ground and going back to that slow pace, methodical approach. And those elbows really did all the damage there at the end to then take the win here.
Yeah, definitely. The 100% takedown accuracy in that second round as well, which is saying something. You know, the first round was a struggle. Second and third round, he puts him away. Gets a finish as well, Jake. I always like that. Caps it off with a finish. Finishes the fight. It's real key. Real stamping a statement in the Xbox division. And obviously he's going to get a tougher matchup, or a tougher, I say tougher, but it's going to be it's the start of the season. It's anybody who's on wins on the sort of win streaks that you can get on, and it really narrows down those fights. But let's see if he can keep that going. He's an interesting character because he doesn't necessarily just strike like a lot of fighters in this division. He utilizes the grappling, and those guys kind of stand out. AJ Dime.
Yeah, and when you say you love when people get to finish at the end, that's just a cherry on top. He was starting to perform well, and then that's just the cherry on top, the icing on the cake right there.
Oh yeah, 100%. Next fight's going to be an absolute banger. We talked about it earlier on. Kia Jimmy Slick versus Ripe MMA. Jimmy Slick's an interesting character, right? He's one of those guys who he's been a veteran. He's been around the game for a long period of time. We met him through Primetime essentially before I knew who he was. Joined Kia, and he's been nothing but impressive. And he's very loyal as well. Very funny. He likes to play about a lot, but his skills are no joke. And it's the same to say for Ripe MMA. Ripe MMA was one of the top competitors in Primetime last season, amongst it, fighting to the top guys. Constantly he's fighting Dirty Dave and a lot of other guys in the division, and he's constantly getting better through it. The selection of pick, I'm questioning Aldo versus Marlon Vera. I love to see it, Doc, but Marlon Vera is new to this game, and I've talked about it a few times. They don't give him the best attributes.
I quite like Marlon Vera, not gonna lie. He's very much a guy where you can stand in the middle of the octagon and be quite happy that even if you do get hit, you can trade nicely with him, and he's got very long arms. So he's a bit like a Rob Font. He's a better Rob Font in my opinion.
Yeah, the only issue is the health stats at the start. They give you a 4-star. They don't include good health stats, and you're kicking. Certain attributes might be correct, but J-Dime, when you're fighting someone like Aldo, who's been leveled up multiple, had a decade in the UFC in the top, never dropped out the top 10. You know, there's a reason for that, and he's going to be upgraded multiple times and have great health stats, and that's where your advantage is going to be.
I disagree with you on the health stats. I think Marlon Vera health stats are really good on this game if you've seen him. And they updated him after he knocked out Dominic Cruz, too. They gave him +4 to his power. He went from 90 to 94 power, 90 kick power to 94. They gave him a boost after the Dom fight, too, Humble.
I missed out on that. So, yeah, good point right there, J-Time. But, yeah, still, for me, Aldo's a veteran. But it's all about the player, I guess, and how they utilise him. I like the power from Vera. He's very good at throwing a lot less than his opponents and doing more damage, Doc. And similar to Aldo, though, he doesn't throw a lot. And then when he does it, explosions, and it really hurts his opponent.
Yeah, both of these guys are methodical and technical in their approach until suddenly they're in your face, exploding entirely, and you're not sure what position to defend.
That was funny. I don't know, when you said exploding on their face, it's funny too.
Jesus Christ.
God.
All right, that didn't happen. Let's get back to the fight.
Let's get back to the fight.
Get back to the fight, exploding onto his face. Indeed, he is. But hey, let's not remember as well, the grappling from Aldo is not bad, and he did a good job in the real fight to neutralize Marlon Vera, keep him in that body triangle, and keep him there. We'll see if Jimmy Slick goes to that. I know Jimmy uses Aldo a lot, one of his favorite fighters, so.
That was a lovely body shot into that body counter of the elbow. The leg kicks of Aldo have been quite repetitive. You can see him slowly chopping down the base of Ripe MMA. But also Ripe is doing a fantastic job with the side kicks, as well as he's very short, he's very sharp with all of his punches. When he is throwing, it's either to figure out distance or it's actually to land and do a bit of damage there.
These two are really good, J-Time. They're really good. The way they're moving, the way they're striking, there's no wasted movements. They're really trying to pick their opportunities and leave themselves defensively sound at all aspects. And the shots that you've seen come through are really pushed, and they're really thought about and planned. It's a fantastic fight to watch so far.
Yeah, this is a chess match so far. Like, this is just a great matchup. It's not even like just high action. It's just great thinking right there, Humble.
Yeah, nice work. Going back to the body, I'm really liking that lead body hook that Ripe MMA is throwing, and he's throwing it from both stances as well. Jimmy Slick needs to stick to those leg kicks, I believe, as well, but he's not throwing too many. He's keeping his options open, but I believe they might be a nice change into that fight. What a fight that is. I don't know who won that fight, that round, essentially.
Well, 18 to 23 going into the favourite of
Marlon Vera.
Marlon Vera.
Yeah,
Both of them pretty even there. Both of their fight IQs are extremely high. The stamina only slightly into their favour of Ripe MMA so far. Jimmy understands this though, and at the rate he's going, you can see there, he's coming back. He's then kicking that leg as well. They're going to make the adjustments. That first round was definitely a feeling out process. I'm expecting this round to probably up in the pace, and it is already looking like it's going to be that.
Key word, J-Dime, adjustments. Both guys are talented enough to make those adjustments. And, like, there's a reason he checked his stats to see, because it was such a close round. You know, you want to know if you're kind of winning that and come out firing so far. And Ripe MMA is going to make some adjustments in this round. There it is, that body shot. Really liking that from Ripe MMA. That's his big shot at the moment.
Doubled up on it as well. That was a lovely duck on the head kick.
Jimmy!
Digging down to that body, coming at him again.
Nice.
Again, the
That's
sudden
a big
explosion.
mistake. In a game of inches, that's a mistake you can't make throwing that head kick. You gotta be disciplined and fight the urge to throw that. Because once you throw that, an experienced player is going to stun you because they know now you're vulnerable, Humble.
Yeah, definitely. Both of these guys can stay consistent this season. I guarantee these two are going to be in the top 10. They're such good players. Such a good sort of way of fighting. And Jimmy Slick, as you've seen, there's so much skill involved in that. And it's the same. We'll see if Ripe MMA gets back on his bike and starts hitting that body shot again. He's kind of went away from it with a switch stance from Jimmy.
That was nice. He didn't land it what Jimmy did when he threw the jab and then he did a fake down into the elbow. If you've seen that, Humble.
Mm-hmm. He's got so many tricks, this guy. I don't want to blow smoke too much because he's my teammate, but I'm always very impressed by him.
I'll blow smoke for Ripe here. He's got the combos around. He's the one putting on the pressure. He's got a brilliant little side kick as well, and it's really controlling the action. A lovely push there that went into the body kick. But again, both of these guys technical as all. Jimmy's probably winning this round so far, but it's only by about an inch, maybe even less here. It's just both of them are having such a good game. That body health of Jimmy is probably going to be the biggest aspect here. If Ripe can get that blinking by the end of this round, the third round is going to be where you really see Ripe come alive.
Ripe's really investing as well. He's such a clever fighter because he's like, oh well, I've been rocked in this round. I could probably get one back, or I invest in the next round, and I might be one up, or it might be 1-1. So I want to try and invest in my future, essentially. Ripe MMA is thinking about the future. J-Dime, he's trying to do some damage, and a nice takedown right there. It's going to neutralize Jimmy on the ground.
Yeah, and that's smart. That's smart too, Humble, because like you said, he could think, oh yeah, I'm getting stunned. I'm gonna get it back this round, or he can invest to the body and get his body hurt for next round, and then in the third he can start taking over, Humble.
Yeah, definitely. It's obviously a close round still this round, even though he's had the rock, and he can still do some damage right now. He really is as well, and Jimmy needs to watch himself right now. But nice reversal at the end. Good job of neutralising some damage, and I still believe that was Jimmy's round. I just love the work that Ripe was doing. You can see what I mean by that. It's 24-20 in significant strikes and 34-33 in overall strikes, but the one stun kind of changes the sort of mindset there of who won that round. In my opinion, it's 1-1, Doctor. All to play for going in this one. It's a fantastic fight we've got in the primetime main card.
Yeah, it's still all to play for. That sidekick coming out again. That's been one of Ripe's main tools, and it is such a lovely tool to see used. A lot of the time you can sidestep it, but the fact that he's landed it so often means he's setting up correctly, and it's making it difficult. His opponent nearly ducks down into the uppercut, a straight following suit. You can really tell that Ripe's starting to want to put on this pressure. His body's in the same position now by the looks of it, but both of them have highly invested in his body.
You hit him in the body, the head will fall, and both of them have invested very well to the body. And since we think it's 1-1, I don't know. I'm not a judge. We're going to see who's. This is a game of inches, man. I don't even want to talk about this no more, Humble.
It's just a fantastic. It's really hard to commentate.
Fake down again.
So much going on from one thing to the next. Like each combination's got so much involved in it, and the footwork. Look at the footwork if you do want to learn how to play this game at a high level. Watch the footwork of these guys and watch how they're kind of in and out, making the moves, picking the shots, and there's a lot going on before the actual initial exchange.
That was a lovely takedown.
Yeah, it was. It was perfectly timed, perfect distance. He was just outside of kind of failing to make that, and he ends up getting it, Doc.
Jimmy, yeah, I feel like Ripe knows that Okay, we're both in similar positions of the striking. I had quite a good amount of success at the very end of the second round, getting a bit of that damage off. So if I can take this down, if I can slow down this pace entirely, secure the round, put him on the back foot, on his back, then he can get the significant strikes off, he can get the damage, he can feel confident in securing the round overall, and that's what he's doing with his posture ups. He's posturing up, landing a couple of shots, posturing back down, making sure that his opponent isn't able to get up. And look there, a couple of those shots work that body, so you get back up on the feet, you can then just blitz your opponent's body as soon as you get up.
He needs to get active right now and get back to his feet. He's going to struggle to do some damage from this position, or even he's not going for any submission attempts, anything like that. The defense is behind him. He's not really utilising it, J Time, and I'd like to see him kind of, because he's taking 3 shots and then straight down right. You're not going to get up from that. You need to put your ego back against the fence, up against that fence, and then count your chickens from there.
Yeah, he was getting too comfortable on his back before you said something, because you're going to lose the round just being comfortable right there. It may not be much damage, but
this is a close fight. If you're Marvin Vera, you know that you can hang back, but you've got to be careful because Aldo will come at you in anyway, which you can see how he's doing it. At the 20-second mark, the heel kick lands, but it doesn't get a stun. If you're Jimmy Slick here, you want to get a stun, you want to get a knockdown, you want to do something, but with 10 seconds and a closing mark coming in, these two engaging is getting close.
On the wild.
I don't know
who's 96 chin.
I don't know who's won the fight.
That's that 96 chin by Cheeto Vera.
I mean, I
see 5-round fight between them two.
I want to say a 5-round fight between those two. Jesus.
But then the biggest shots in that third round came from Aldo. So it's like, I'm not even rooting for my team. I'm saying the biggest shots in the round were definitely Aldo. The spin kick to the head. It was that. It's such that. I don't think we can judge that fight. There's no way that we can say who's won that third round.
Well, the judges are in, and we'll find out.
I'm putting my headphones down. I don't want to hear.
You always hear anyway, J-Time.
Sadly, we don't have to hear Bruce Buffer's anonymous voice, but Cheeto Vera is the winner, right? Hopefully, we may get to see stats. Nice.
It was the grappling, obviously.
It was.
And he was smart as well, because the body health was blinking of Vex in such a close fight.
18-21, 1 round to the favour of this round probably most likely goes to Jimmy. Your third and final round, 19-27.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Right, 20.
Look at that, it's a split decision. I'd like to see them rematch one day.
They're
too early.
Run
it's
it
too
again
early
in the future.
It's too early now.
Not soon, but they're going to run it back. That was such an even matchup.
Looking forward to that as well. That's such a good fight. Such a good fight. Now we have 3 absolute bangers. Free Ashley. We just had right with Jimmy. I think that's a class fight. It was a fantastic, as you've seen the skill level in that fight. If you do like sort of the skill in UFC 4, you're going to enjoy what you just watched. For the next fight, it's going to be the #1 ranked Xbox player currently in the Xbox division due to the performances he had and the finishes he had in the Grand Prix. And a surprise dark horse as well in that Grand Prix, if I do say so myself. It was Vex Ginger, and he's going to be fighting the GOAT of Primetime, Fap Trixie. Trixie wants his belt back. He wants to fight with Naz. He wants to be up there. If Naz and whoever, even Pabst is in that mix, he doesn't feel comfortable, Doc, if he's not the champion. He's used to being champion.
Yeah, Trixie's used to being champion. He went on a massive title run. He's used to all that, and so you got to imagine if you're Trixie, you're going to be well adjusted across the board to being in those 5-round fights. His best round is the second round a lot of the time, as everybody says, but here we are. He's going to have 3 rounds, and it's against, as you mentioned, the dark horse on the PS side. This man went all the way to the finals, and not anybody was particularly expecting it, but he came out, put on a showcase, and had a very competitive fight against Mr. Smudger, who's now 5-0 on the PS side. So it ain't a bad loss whatsoever here, Jay.
I want to know who Ginger was training with, because last week, like I said, that was the best Ginger we ever seen. That was such. I've never seen Ginger perform like that ever.
Maybe he was training with Tadpole, maybe he was training with those guys who are on the Vex team. There's a lot of good guys in the Vex camp, so I don't, there's a lot of guys that you can kind of pick. Just making sure we can get predictions out, hopefully, because we haven't had much tonight. Because if we don't know, we've got a bit of a change in the production. We've got people off the day, so I do apologise for some of these things. We haven't had the predictions up as normal, but I will get them up right now for you guys to predict. We'll do a 2-minute one, hopefully. There we go.
Get your bets in. Who's going to be winning this fight? It's going to be Trixie Swift and Goat at Primetime, or Ginger, the PS Dark Horse.
I mean, there's going to be a lot of people putting money on Trixie.
Of course.
There's got to be, because he's one of those guys. Hopefully not in the next minute and 30 seconds, because people will know. But Vettori versus Lawler is not a thing we see often between these guys. I like the picks. I like the mix up in the picks. It's a bit of fun.
Yeah, well, the uppercuts are already coming out. So do the straights. Lovely straight to the body there, getting that jab. A lead hook and another straight coming across. Trixie getting himself established already. Ginger trying to fire back. He's going to be looking for a takedown. I think he wants to be the one grappling here tonight.
Ginger's happy. You can't do that again.
Jesus.
He can't get. That's what he can't do against a veteran. He can't get carried away, get excited off the one knockdown. He got to keep his composure. He can't just go crazy, humble.
This is the difference, right? There's a lot of difference between great players and good players. Great players know how to really hurt you when you've already got your hurt. They know how to extend that damage. Whereas good players will rock you, they'll hurt you, they'll try and put you away. Trixie, he's different. He's built different.
He is built different. As they say, he's the GOAT of primetime. Oh my! He woke him up. I think when he hooked him, he woke him up. He didn't woke him up. No, Ginger.
Ginger trying his damnedest to stay alive. Trixie shipping and you shot some which. We're now on the ground. It looks like Trixie's takedown's going to be with his hands, but instead he gets back up onto their feet, getting that jab established already.
Too much respect at the moment as well. I think Ginger's been hurt so much right there that he's given Trixie there it is. You need to kind of use your game and do it. But Trixie defending, he's going to go for the takedown right now, and Trixie's no slouch on the ground either.
I know what he needs to do. All right, if you're Ginger, you seen how he denied that takedown, humble? I think he shouldn't actually take him down. He should throw a jab, do a fake down, and instead of throwing an elbow like Jimmy Slick was doing, throw a lead uppercut. Because if you do a fake down, they let you throw a double up. That's the only time they let you throw two in a row.
Yeah, he's got to do something up with the damage. It looks like it's almost over. Can Ginger pull out some sort of rabbit out the hat right now, Doctor? Because he needs one against one of the greatest players that we've ever seen in primetime history.
Yeah, Trixie looking calm, cool, and collected across the board. Very composed. The elbow, that coming out does half damage. The uppercut also there. Have got to remember that Vettori did clip Trixie with the uppercut very early on, so that's always opportunity there. Now going the leg kick and elbow also following suit. Doesn't land particularly. Digs down to that body as well, and both these are still looking to gauge it as the round draws to an end here.
Yeah, but the problem is with that first rock, it almost caused the rest of the stun. It feels like a million years ago, doesn't it, J-Time?
Yeah, I feel like after he stunned Robbie Lawler and Robbie stunned him, it created a snowball effect. Everything just started going downhill for Marvin Vettori. So I don't know. Yeah, Ginger gonna have to do something, make some type of adjustment going into the second round, because it looks close to over, but it's not over yet, humble.
Yeah, 100%. And I think he said he had 6 health events and he had 27 significant strikes, which means that every 4.5 significant strikes that he's landing, he's rocking or hurting or causing a health event, which is insane.
How did you do that math? How did you do that?
How did you do that?
It's a talent, let's just say.
Evil. And whilst Humble does maths, Trixie's the one finding out other adjustments he needs to make, whilst Ginger in the other corner is hoping to God that he can figure out the rhyme or reason to the way Trixie strikes to hopefully have a bit more attempt. Does miss the wild overhand there, gets countered with the leg kick, which does a chunk and a half of damage to his leg, and both of these guys are enjoying the uppercuts and trading with those lead hooks there.
Watch them significant strikes landing. He's landed more than 4 this afternoon. Hasn't really hurt him. As I said, maybe it's later on as well. When he gets cumulative damage, J-Time, he really hurt him right there. Everything. Oh my my God, Ginger, man, he's never given up. Never given up.
Uppercut out of range gets met with a front kick, and that is what you want if you are someone like Ginger here. He found the opening he needed. He needs to find another though and really capitalize on it, because otherwise Trixie's going to come back and hunt for you to dead. It's the second round, it's his core round, and the first round was the best round he's looked in so far.
I've lost fights like this before, and I know like Trixie was thinking right now, I need to be careful. You know, get one ground and pound opportunity and you zig when you're supposed to zag, and it's going to go the opposite way. Trixie does need to be careful. Ginger has clearly shown that he's still a threat in this fight.
He's dangerous. Ginger is still dangerous. No matter how many punches you land on him, until he's dead, he's still dangerous, and he's still a threat to put you out, Doc.
Yeah, and that's I think Trixie's respecting it. You can see he's just standing there. He's happy for Ginger to come back and throw those little short pieces combos, because that's what Trixie wants in the long run. He wants a bigger counter window, and there he goes. It's as soon as Ginger starts firing back is when he can find the windows to finally open up again.
He needs to watch his stamina right now. Ginger for me, he lost a bit of it in that first round, and I think if he utilises and capitalises the season... Just composure. What about composure? His composure has changed. I'm telling you now, this Ginger's composure, the way
Ginger is so calm. He's calm. He especially compared to how Ginger used to play. The man had so many nerves, and now he's happily standing in front in the co-main event of this evening. Is standing against someone like Trixie, and he's got 2 knockdowns. I think he's probably won this round actually, just from.
No, I don't know about that, but
he hasn't been knocked down.
He's dangerous.
I have to see the stats first. I'm not gonna lie to y'all guys. Win or lose.
Imagine he won that round.
Win or lose, Ginger is my favorite fighter right now. Yeah. Win or lose. He won that round. He won.
That's a close round.
He did. He did win it.
1-1.
It's 1-1. Where is this 1-1?
And Ginger
has no fight. It's only a 3-1 fight. What if he gets a takedown or something?
Trixie said,
I'm ready to stun you. Dig it down to the body. Go up top. Try and play aggressive. He's trying his damnedest here. He knows that Ginger will come back in any way in which. But the issue is Ginger needs to find the right time. That leg is now busted. Donnie gets a check on it, but a little too late, it seems.
He can't get knocked down because he's only rocking just so far. Oh, there we go. I'm sorry, Trixie. I'm sorry, Trixie.
Commentary curse.
He said he just ran on the parade. He said, yeah, Ginger, I'm ending this over now.
Credit to
Ginger, I still love you.
Credit to Ginger, man. Credit to Ginger. I tell you what, like,
Jesus.
If he rocked his opponent, like rocked Trixie early on in that first fight, obviously Trixie he does everything right in between the knockdowns and the rocks. He builds everything right. Jadam, he's very good at building everything. That's why he's so freaking good, because he builds towards the knockout. Whereas Ginger found some brilliant openings right there, and somehow he's finding perfect timing with perfect combinations at times. But if Ginger adds the composure in that first round that he had for the second and third, it might have been a different fight, you know, with the amount of times he managed to find that chin. But the goat of Primetime shows why he's the goat of Primetime. Trixie gets another win on the map, and he's going to push himself up, maybe put himself in contention for a title shot. Who knows?
That was crazy, because even though Trixie won, he did his thing. Ginger had the moments. Ginger looked like he was trying to make a comeback, and I just been so impressed with Ginger for the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, Ginger has looked like an utter dog across the board, and he's done a fantastic job here. In that second round, he made those adjustments, and then Trixie came out again in that third round and went, I don't care whatever adjustments you've made, I'm going to come in and bust your bleeding head off there.
Yeah, it was such a fantastic performance, and, you know, these guys are all shooting the shot to try and get themselves a title shot in the future of Primetime. I think Trixie now, if I'm correct, is going to take himself to 3-1 in the division, which is not bad coming off it. One of the guys with a recent win, you know, Dirty Dave, Jakey, these guys haven't fought this evening, so he's going to put himself up there, especially staring at this main event this evening with Naz versus EK Pabst. But that leads on nicely. To our core main event this evening. It is a teammate of mine versus two good friends, essentially, of all of ours. You know, Jay Diamond, Doc, Reaper, who's spent a lot of time with us today in the chat. He's done so much for Primetime recently. He's stepped up as a guy.
Really has.
And that's what we credit him for that. But as a competitor, as a competitor, Doctor, he did well last season. He put himself in the top 15, got himself in the Primetime tournament, and he's fighting somebody who did the exact same thing. These two are almost polar opposites, but they're neck and neck towards that Primetime division. Jay Diamond, they deserve to be in the co-main event the spot this evening because they fought so well. It's STK Reaper versus KIA Big Balls Ned coming up next in the co-main event. Jay Diamond, tell us what you think of this one.
I'm actually really interested in this match. Like, this is the match I'm looking forward to, maybe the most, because we all know Reaper. We all love Ned too. And this should just be a high-paced, high-action type of fight. Like, just a treat for the crowd, Humble.
It'll be interesting to see if one of them takes a step back. I've actually been sparring Ned quite recently because he's been so active and he's been preparing for stuff like this. He takes this shit seriously, and he's on early this morning sparring people, and the way he fights has slightly changed from what I'm thinking Reaper's going to expect. So it'll be interesting to see how Ned approaches this one in prime time. He's the fighter's favorite fighter. He's your favorite fighter's favorite fighter, essentially, Jay Diamond. It'll be interesting to see if Reaper can deal with that this evening, but hopefully we've got a link for these guys. I know Reaper's doing a lot of wrangling today, so he might be slightly late, but hopefully we can get this one up and running soon.
Looks like
There we
we're
go.
going to be getting this one up and running. We're going to be having Max Holloway as Reaper and Volkanovski as Ned. I'm going to assume Conor McGregor was banned. You've got to imagine if these are the picks on the table tonight.
Yeah, let's have a look at that actually while you guys are breaking this one down. What do you think of the fighters? Obviously, this is a fourth fight these guys have had with Max Holloway and Volkanovski. I love Volkanovski on this game, and I got clattered last night, but Max is still a problem.
Yeah, Max is still the man on this game. Like, even though Volk is like overpowered now, I still don't want to fight Max. And I think it's his stats, also with the way people use Max Holloway too.
He comes out and he comes in and jabs your face off without having any cardio loss. It's one of the most impressive things to see across.
Hey, am I frozen? Is it frozen down right now?
No, it's still moving for me. Might be your screen, Jay. Just have a quick refresh. These guys touch close in the center of the octagon right now. And,
yeah, it's my screen then.
Yeah, slightly frozen. I don't know if it's going.
No, I think it's actually frozen.
Is it frozen?
No,
mine's not. Mine's fine.
Okay.
Mine's is
I'm
actually
currently
frozen.
seeing Max Holloway being beaten the living head out by Holloway. Reaper has currently got 2 knockdowns of Volkanovski, I'm pretty sure, and now he's going for a third, putting on the pressure here. Both of them playing very aggressively. Are we all good on technical side?
Yeah, definitely.
Nope. We're good. We're good now. We're straight.
Great work from Reaper so far. He's really put it on there. Ned's a slow starter a lot of the times. He really needs to build his fight into this one. One thing that because I know about playing with Volkanovski recently, you need to utilize his leg kicks. Oh, nice work!
Oh my God, Jesus!
Oh my God, it's over that fast! You just said you was watching Max beat the living hell out of Volk. Ain't that what you just said?
Big balls, Ned.
Okay.
Holy. These KIA boys don't mess around, like, Jesus Christ. Big balls,
no,
Ned.
you can't say that you're part of the same camp, but yes, you can in this case. What
Reaper,
just happened?
Slow down, buddy. Slow down, buddy.
What just happened?
Jeez, I know Reaper's, to be honest, though, like, credit to Reaper, he's doing a lot tonight, and it does take effect. People don't talk about this, but fighting.
He was doing a lot before he got put to sleep.
But he did well. He came out, it's almost like he was rushing that fight, and he came out and he gave Ned a big opportunity, and one of the things that a lot of the guys in our camp do very well is when they hurt you, they know certain combinations to throw to put you out.
I just want to see the stats of that fight. That was
Man. Not how I expected.
How did it just change like that?
I don't.
Just Ned. That's what he does. It's just what he does.
Yeah. Just.
Oh man, I feel bad for Reaper though. I really do feel bad for Reaper because he did so well in that fight, and he just
Reaper, he does not feel bad, Reaper.
No, he did.
He does not feel bad at all. I promise you he doesn't. He is happy you got your ass whooped, Reaper. Humble is very happy to happen.
Is Ned the next challenger? Does that put Ned co-main event? He's just had a big win right there. I believe he's put himself up there. I'm just going to campaign for him because we've got to waste some time at the moment because we've got some technical issues going forward. But what's Ned at the moment? Did he fight in the Primetime tournament? I don't know if he did.
I don't believe he did.
So he's 1-0. Okay.
He's 1-0 and he put on one hell of a performance there in the co-main event of this evening. The first co-main event of the pay-per-view side. So, whilst we wait for our main event to stack up and get ready, that'll be against Naz versus EK Paps, the third fight, the third time they meet up with each other in the lightweight division. Let's have a look back on the rest of the card tonight.
Well, you know what I'm really interested in? If we do some bets right now, what people think, because we do have a few minutes to wait. So let's get some bets uploaded onto the. I'm going to get this this done. Crazy that a lot of people predicted Trixie as well. I mean, Ginger to beat Trixie, which is I find crazy, but yeah.
Because this is a new Ginger. This isn't the same Ginger. This is a new Ginger. That's why.
It's a new Ginger. Yeah, Ginger looked really good. If we look back at the rest of the card, you had Ginger have a fantastic performance. Trixie was the guy to take out the win. That was a hell of a fight. You had Jimmy versus Ripe with a technical masterclass. You had Toasty come in with grappling prowess and finally get round to finishing the fight in the third round. Then you had Perp versus Cole. Perp was definitely the underdog and sadly continued to be. He did have a very great success across the board. As I say that though, I think our main event is ready, Humble.
Oh, that's quick. All right, okay. We thought we would have some technical issues. I'm putting the bets up right now for everybody, though. We got EK Pabs versus Naz in our main event this evening. The history between these two is absolutely extraordinary. They fought. We'll go through it again, just in case you've just joined with us. They fought each other at the end of last season as Naz was on a killer run towards that, trying to build himself into the Grand Prix time. He came in late, didn't he? So he was trying to get as many wins together as he could to get himself into there. Pabs was dominating that first fight. He had him rocked, he had him hurt multiple times. I'm sure Naz would be okay with admitting that. And then Naz managed to clutch a Leon Edwards win in that famous clip we've got of the most Leon Edwards thing to do. And then their fate would meet again in the Grand Prix because multiple people pulled out against Naz. 1 minute notice. Will you fight Pabs? Naz said yes, no problem. And Pabs ends up getting the win against him, knocking him out in the third round in a very close fight. Pulls out of the next fight because he couldn't make it. Naz takes his spot back, ends up winning the Grand Prix, and here we are today. These two are fighting for the Xbox Championship. The only man to kind of take Naz out in this season is Pabs, and they're going to settle it tonight for us and our viewer and audience.
Another thing to also know, during that time, Pabs was under the Vex team. This time, he's under the EK team. On the other hand, Naz is no longer part of the EK team. He's on his own, and here we are tonight between these two men.
Oh, that's a great point. Obviously, we don't know the reasons. Naz, as if he's got kicked out or if he's left on his own accord, whatever it is. But it must be I don't know about you, J Dan, but if you're fighting the guy who beat you in your last fight, it nearly knocked him out with that chance to win the belt, and then he's took your spot in an EK as well, and you've kind of left. There's got to be a bit of bad blood here. There's got to be. You can see 1-1 right there. Got to be some sort of
versus McGregor
history
as well.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Ooh.
But this is going to be crazy. But I want to know the backstory on why he left EK, and now I see.
I tried to get it. Didn't tell me.
I need the backstory.
Didn't tell me. They wouldn't tell me. But 48% of the votes go to Pabs. 52% of the votes go to Naz. The viewing audience have this split down the middle. Here we go, the Xbox Championship on the line. Naz versus Pabs, dog. Let's go.
Well, the leg kicks are already starting out to make themselves established by Naz, digging down to the body. The stamina gain going into the favour of Pabs. Typically, throughout this entire card so far, the person who gets a stamina gain early on has had a lot more success. But here we are. Pabs is playing very defensive, very calmly. He's being backed against the cage here, but he isn't overextending. He's being patient, waiting for Naz to throw, digging down to the body. Does get blocked there, and we are already set for a one hell of a fight here tonight. Jesus.
Do y'all think they have any nerves right now because they know it's 1-1 and this is for the title? Do you think somebody in this situation is nervous right now, Humble?
I have nerves.
I think Naz is really trying to get from foot.
I think I have more nerves than they do.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same.
There's going to be a lot of adjustments in this fight. I think Pabs has got the back foot at the moment. He's really letting Naz kind of take. I don't know if he's doing what a lot of people kind of fight the back foot and find that clean shot and then really hurt you because you threw or fought them. Ooh. I'll be interested to see if he's doing that. But Naz has got to have made some adjustments. But I know he's training for this. Naz is one of the. No one talks about this, but Naz actually studies his opponents. He goes to the drawing board and he works out what he's done wrong.
He's made
That's
that
what I like
already.
Yeah, I like that about him.
No, he's made... So, Paps has dug down to the body a couple of times, and Naz has gone to try an uppercut. Each time, Paps has moved his head, and now he's starting... The last time around, he countered the hook. And Naz is making adjustments on the fly, and those are the type of adjustments you want. Both of these guys know each other well. It should also be stated, Naz probably looking for that takedown, does get it as that stamina starts to get lower. Now it's a case of perhaps needs to reset, calm down, because this is where he's always had the issues. Whenever he got down to the ground, this is where Naz has always succeeded.
This is just unfortunate for Paps because Naz knew what he was doing because Paps was on his back foot and he was too close to that cage. He knew he could get him down at any time because he never circled. He stayed on that. He was comfortable by that cage, Humble.
We've seen an extraordinary first round from Naz. He's really trying to utilize and capitalize. Yeah, he's trying to make a statement. He's really trying to make a statement. It's
Didn't
close.
get the chain. It's starting to get close. That stamina is fairly even on both sides. The blue is going up, but the red.
He's moving.
He's tracking him. No, he is tracking him. He is tracking him.
This is the overextension of the movements from Paps is absolutely extraordinary. I didn't expect this, and Naz is now starting to really capitalize on that. This is going to be it. He's so close to his escape bar.
He's about to get out. He's getting out.
Faster at the end. He goes faster at the end.
He's out. He's out.
And the buzzer goes.
Oh my God.
Wow. What a start.
Wow.
What a start. What a start to our title fight.
You couldn't have timed that better. You couldn't have timed the buzzer going. You couldn't time to get him out. You couldn't get timed the red bar going out. It's just that was scary. Oh my God. Okay.
He needs to take the centre. He needs to take the centre.
Yeah.
Paps does best when he's going forward, and you know he let Naz look at Naz pressing into him, not throwing shots, just trying to. It's called false pressure. He's pressing into him, trying to get him to kind of back up by just being there in presence. Essentially, he needs to be careful that block doesn't get broken. Yeah, exactly. It's good tactic. People don't understand these sort of techniques. It's so smart. Look where he is right now.
He has to get off that cage. He's letting him push.
Now he does it. Now he gets the same takedown.
Yeah.
And now we are here. Paps has got denied in his brawl several times. He needs to calm down, reset, build that GA. He does get denied. I would pre-deny there, as you saw.
Elbows.
Elbows,
man. He just peppered him with about 9 elbows, 10 elbows clean on the face, which took his overall head health
he
down.
He should have allowed to get up.
I would have allowed to get up.
Yeah, I would have allowed to get up, and now, no. He gave his back. That's exactly what you'll be doing when you possibly know the guy's HUD watching you there. And now we end up into this position. Does get the half guard, looking to land some heavy strikes. The reads on the defense. Oh, fantastic!
That's killing him, man. This is crazy. It's almost crazy to see that Pabs. You know, he dominated the last 2 fights that he has.
Let him get up, Pabs. That's an interesting idea. Now we end up in top mount again, and does get denied there. Evidently not reading it just correctly enough. Denies
so much emotion in these fights as well. You hear Doc's voice, like, let him get up. Like, he wants to see Pabs to his feet, and Naz is just taking his time, beating him up.
Hey, Doc. There's people in the chat saying he can't get. They said it's undeniable. That's what.
He's getting the deny though.
Yeah.
Is he? I don't know. Maybe undeniable. It wouldn't even surprise me at this point. Undeniable makes a bit more sense. Probably to reset Jay. Lovely deny there. Now going here. Goes to the get up. That is exactly what you want. And the uppercut, but the head self with the elbows though have done so much for Paps here that.
Naz needs to be careful though. He's getting caught with the bit, but he doesn't care. No respect.
He don't care.
The uppercut there and the straight there. Oh no! A bit too early. The slam though.
He needs to get out of that position right there. This is really damaging him. Obviously, this is just a complete onslaught. It's like the train has been running through Pabs from Naz. He's not stopped. He's not letting him. He's going to go for the Kimura, surely.
He's gassed out himself from all those denies, and it's just a case you might have pit a power him, especially as you got 20 seconds left on the clock. It's just a case of holding out for something as we enter into the second round here. This.
He was faking the get up. Apparently, that was what we're getting back from the truck, which was why he couldn't deny it essentially. So it's very interesting. I'll tell you what, Naz has impressed me in this fight, but Pabs Has he got anything left? Can he dig deep, J-Time? Can he pull some fire out of his heart? Because he's not had an opportunity in this fight so far, and he's been on the back foot throughout this fight.
Oh, that straight lands there, the uppercut and the hook.
This is looking bad. I'm not even gonna lie. This is looking bad right now.
This is looking bad, but perhaps may have come back
Gotta
from
get off that cage.
Oh, the straight lands there, now goes back down, going to the finish. No, he's still in his fight, but his head health is absolutely shattered. Goes down there, disengages, hook, uppercut. Both of them do that with the elbow there. Digs down on his top as well. Naz is looking like the man to beat here. It's all in his game. Perhaps has to dig deep to find something, but he's looking like it's getting harder and harder as time goes on here. The head movement off so much. The uppercut, the straight, the hook. He's gassed out, but that head health is shot to shit.
There's nothing he can do in this fight. He is absolutely...
It's not over, but he's
It's
gotten
over.
stuck on that.
It's
not over yet.
It's over.
It's
over.
over yet.
Over to the fat lady sings.
All right,
Perhaps
KSI.
he's
He
surviving.
didn't sing yet. It is not over.
KSI in the commentary booth. It is over. This is a formality.
Not
Naz is-
over just yet. He's
Not
still
over just
surviving.
yet. He didn't see it come
How
back
is he
before.
alive?
I don't know, but he's over.
He is on his last legs.
Gets a deny.
If he wins this fight, I
If he
don't
wins,
even want to say what I'll do. I don't want to say.
if he wins this fight, you gotta have a forfeit. It feels like.
Oh my God! Naz is putting
Oh,
on.
that leads to no. This is
It's
it.
not
No.
over.
Oh my
It's
God!
not over.
This game holding him together, but McGraw's
It's
out
over. It's
cold.
over.
And still, the Xbox Primetime Champion with a statement this evening. The TikTok sensation, Naz, gets the win in the third round, I believe it was, Doctor. What a performance from him. He came out, against the guy he struggled with him multiple times and proving tonight, these might get in fight in the future, no doubt about it. But in this performance today, I believe Naz was clear winner, clear dominant factor in that one, and he really did a good job of showing why he's champion.
He did an absolute fantastic performance. The first time round, Naz got his ass handed to him basically, and then came out with submission in the end. The second time round, they had a very close first round to the point where Pabst won. The second round was more Naz, and then Naz came out in that third and absolutely dominated. And this time round, from start to finish, Naz knew his pace. He knew he wanted his opponent against the back cage. He knew how to control it, and that's what he did. He dominated that fight and came out like a true champion should do.
Man, listen to me. Nas went on his front foot and just pressured him, and he got him stuck on that cage. Even in the beginning of the first round, when Pabst was getting some counters, Nas knew he could take him down anytime because he pushed him all the way to that cage. And once you're on that cage, you're toast, humble, essentially.
Yeah, definitely. Look at this. Look at what we've got now. We've already got Naz as champion at the start of the season. And it might set up maybe next week, I know we might have a rematch between Naz and Trixie. Who knows? There's a few other guys that might be in contention. It obviously depends on who is going to sign up. You got Trixie, you got Taz, you got Donny, you got obviously Pabs just fought, Brady. There's so many guys that are in there. Dirty Dave as well, I know is knocking at the bit, the former Primetime Champion. So for me, there's a bunch of guys in this Xbox division at the moment that are all knocking on the door. They're all neck and neck with like skill level and everything like that, and it's such a brilliant thing to watch. And obviously, like, I don't know, Fadinator's coming back. There's a lot going on. I know there's a few people that have got suspensions at the moment. There's so much going on in this Xbox division. It's a great time to be watching Primetime. And thank you so much, guys, for your support this evening. Doc, have we got anything to end on this evening?
And John, well, we'll be back next week with Primetime 57 on the Friday night and 72 on the Saturday. Both of those will be stacked. The Brown PS title fight will be next week, all going well. Same time as usual, 3:30 Eastern, 8:30 BST. With all that being said, have a good night.